I think everything is working. Can we do like the test?
We have the technology.
Guys, can you hear everyone good? Should we change something with anyone's microphone? I think the picture is finally working. No one is frozen.
Yet. Everything good on my side. We can go.
Okay, we can. Guys, I'm super happy to see you here. I'm Anna Geek Live. We have our first Spiritborn podcast that was finally revealed yesterday. My wonderful guests here today. We all visited the play test of the Spiritborn a couple of days ago, last week, and we're super happy and excited to talk about the Spiritborn finally, because this week was a pure torture for me. It was insane. It was super hard because you just can't hold it. And yeah, that was super hard. I have here today for you Barricade, our community guy, absolutely wonderful person, the hype person, the nice person. So my microphone is probably quiet, maybe. I'm gonna scream.
Hi.
We have here Dawn. Dawn is the creator of the Diablo University. Dawn is the guy whose Diablo spreadsheet I have always on my PC open. It's one of the tabs that I have open, and who is already preparing the spreadsheet for the Diablo, for the Spiritborn, the ultimate nerd among us, ready to talk with us. And we have the Rogue, some random barbarian guy, I don't know, accidentally here. We met him there in LA and we took him with us. So guys, I'm super happy to talk with you, because we're continuing the conversation where we left in LA. We just keep talking. We couldn't shut up there, we continue talking here. Yeah guys, prepared some questions, random questions, but drop your questions here as well. Everything that you want to talk about. I'm super excited that finally we're allowed to talk about the Spiritborn, and we all saw it, and we will be really soon be able to play it. Guys, my first question for you is now, how would you rate the Spiritborn from 1 to 10? Drop it.
We go in alphabetical order or what?
Rob.
Okay, for me, Spiritborn is 11 out of 10, I think. I really like it, and now that they've nerfed the barb for Season 5, there's just no way. I mean, the Spiritborn looks amazing. It's like this melee, fast-paced place that we teleport all the time. We have a bunch of cooldown, we have charges. It just feels really cool. It feels really good. I like it.
How would you rate it, assuming everything is like the same level? So like barb isn't like really super nerfed, but Spiritborn is about the same. Would you prefer to play Barb or Spiritborn then?
If it's like balance-wise the same, it's Barb. But it's like a 9 out of 10 then, I think. If like the class balance is like right there, which is very hard to do, I get it. But maybe we'll get there at some point. I think 9 out of 10 is a fair rating.
Okay, and so 9 out of 10 for Spiritborn, you say?
Yep.
Okay.
Where are you at with it? What do you think, Don? Where are you at?
It's kind of difficult for me. So when I first started playing Diablo 3 all the way back in the day, which was like kind of like my first real Diablo game that I really sunk my teeth in, and probably like my first ARPG, I was like a monk main for a long time. I really liked monk. And so this kind of does feel like a lot kind of like a jungle monk in some ways, because like 3 of your 4 basic skills have dashes. You have like Ravager, which makes all your core skill dashes. You have like probably some of the best movement skills in the game right now. And so all of that is just super fun for me. I like going fast. I like blowing stuff up. So I could definitely see this like being like kind of my new main. I just don't necessarily know if it's going to be like on the level of like Barb and Sork. But overall, I think it's just like a really fun and clean kind of character. So like I gotta say like 9 out of 10 at least, and it could definitely go up. Again, this depends on like some of the aspects. I think right now like offensively are like maybe we're missing a few out of the data dump that we have, but I'm just really looking forward to seeing all the stuff and all of the uniques. Like we only have like a couple of uniques for the class, and that's really gonna pop off. I've made already like one OP build, I think. So
Same.
There's this one aspect that gives you like 40% cooldown reduction when you're moving. Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
And you can put it on the amulet, probably get like 60%. And I'm kind
you-
of like, man, I need this on my buff or on the other classes. But I asked this to the developers, like, is this a generic one? Nah, it's Spiritborn only. It would be too crazy.
Way too crazy, yeah. I'm gonna
Yeah,
let the
yeah.
lady go before me. What do you rate it? Because I won't go. Yeah. What do you think?
I was actually like before the reveal when people were asking me in chat or somewhere like what would you rate it? I was saying 11. It's 11. It was pretty cool. But I see here like everyone is saying 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Okay.
I give it an 8. 8 or 7.
Why?
That's where I'm at. Well, I can tell you why. We'll get into that throughout today, right? But I'm at about a 7.5. If we're not doing rookie numbers, 7.5 out of 10 for me. Yep.
7.5. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. That's for me. And that's okay. We feel different, right? That's why we're here to talk about it. That's what we're going to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, people just have different rating scales. I always feel like doing the out of 10 is very difficult because if you're like, I'm kind of not like feeling it that much, but it's okay. Like that should be a 5. But if you ever rate something a 5, it's like dead in the water. So
Feeling it for me, it'd be a 2. Like 10 is the best. Like 10 is my blessed hammer paladin that I can't play today. That's my 10. And so something close to that, then we start bringing it down. So are we going?
This guy who is wise, not paladin.
Yes. Yeah. Always. Why is it not Diablo? Why is it not paladin? Yes. Until it is, right? Yes. That's me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just keep complaining about it. We're gonna get it.
Yeah, that's it.
How did you all feel though when we were at the Blizzard campus and we had we were sitting down in this like cinema and we got to see the class trailer the first time. I was not sitting next to any one of you, but I was sitting in the first row and when the first gorilla or also the jaguar popped up on the big screen that we had, I had like goosebumps and shivers. It was really good.
Yeah.
How was your guys' reaction? I know that like the crowd there we were like 40 content creators and like a cinematic experience, and we were like all cheering and stuff.
It's the loud bass. It's that boom, and they had that whole like that. I kind of got the 300 feeling. Yeah, the sound punching through you. It's like it doesn't matter what the chair was. I'm on the edge of the seat watching, trying to get every piece of the screen, like looking at it, feeling the vibe. I was like, this is what I was hoping for. This is what I want to see, and it was so epic, man. Like Blizzard. Legendary, yeah. Like I was loving it. What about you guys? Loved it.
During this, like guys, when yesterday they were doing the reveal, I think they first showed the trailer. They showed some of the gameplay, showed the trailer, and then they started talking about the class. But we had it a little bit different. In the cinema back then, they first talked about the class. Here is our concept. Here is our art. Here is the gods. But when you hear it, when you don't see it, you are like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they actually showed the cinematic, and then they showed the skill. And yes, when the gorilla jumped and when the jaguar, I think one of the first skills was the jaguar, the spinning jaguar. Oh my gosh, that was destroying. That was super destroying. That was really cool.
That trailer hit it home for me. Like after that, I wanted to be a Spiritborn. Before I was like, man, I was like everybody else. Like I want a paladin. Why is it not a paladin? And then after like seeing the trailer, I was like, hell yeah. And then after playing it, let's go.
Right.
So like for me, like when they were like talking beforehand with all of the like, what does it mean to summon a god into battle? I was kind of like, I could kind of understand what they were talking about, but I was just like, just show me the game.
Yeah.
And it's like for me, the hype started building as they were showing the different skills, like for like in the trailer basically, because it's like, oh, that's a dash too. There's another dash. And I was just like, oh. And then like definitely that part where the like spirit animals come out and the gorilla comes down. Like I think the whole theater was like, yeah.
Yeah.
So
true.
Centipede. This is my love. This is so creepy and so weird. So yeah, that's super cool.
For me, the centipede at first I was kind of like, oh, how they're gonna make that good, and then they like nailed it completely. I definitely seen some like comments on Reddit where they're like, oh, they should have done any other animal than a centipede, but There's just so much cool little stuff that they went in there. Like toxic skin leaves behind a little like snail trail behind you.
Yeah.
And like you can see the centipede crawling inside of it all creepily. And it's just it's just so good, man. So good.
Yeah.
And
So
then
I was.
they-
Oh, go ahead.
Go
Rob,
ahead.
No.
You
Go. No. I gotta go. Time out.
Okay.
Go.
I was just like, when they talked about the centipede, because you mentioned the centipede, and they said the word balance in the trailer initially, and then we got to play the 4 builds, and totally the opposite of balance
Yeah.
was the freaking centipede, man. It was so strong with these like poison explosions, absolutely one-shotting everything. Is probably double dipping some stuff as well, and yeah, it was crazy. Balance, broken comes to mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was trying to make the gorilla my thing. Like, so you know how we had the 4 pre-made builds? First thing I did was I don't care. And so I said respec mode activated. I took all my skills off and I started reading every skill, right? I think I spent 45 minutes trying to make what I thought would be a good gorilla skill. And I got the payback and I tried to make that work. And I was kind of trying that, right? And then I tried the eagle. And I'm like, oh, that's way better than what I was doing. Eagle's nuts. And then I got on the centipede. I was like, oh, centipede's nuts. It's like, what the hell? Look at the power of this thing. What have I been doing? I'm wasting my freaking time, man. And so I think you guys got a chance to meet Moxie there, right? Moxie's sitting beside me. And I was like, dude, have you tried this? He goes, oh, I already know. I was like, what? I was the last guy to try centipede. I was like, oh, man, it's so good. It was overtuned. Way too good. Yeah. Tons of fun, though.
Sorry.
Yep.
Test.
Yeah.
Yep, we can hear you.
Works.
I got a couple of comments that in comparison with you guys, my microphone is not loud enough. So I try to buff it a little bit. Is it better?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think for you it's okay.
We can adjust it either.
Yep.
Better?
You
Test,
have the
test.
tech.
Good buff.
Good buff. Yeah.
Just
1.5
yell,
back.
yell.
Sorry.
You're good.
Sorry.
Respect to Barb. Respect.
Too
Respect
loud.
your mic to bar. That's it.
That mighty bellow, a mighty war cry.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Or like the gorilla, you just pump your chest and you go.
So good. So good.
Just
Okay.
smash down your hands on both sides.
I hope
barricades.
that's better.
So barricades, then the gorilla. Anna's the centipede. I have to be the jaguar. Does that mean that just naturally Rob is the eagle?
I mean, the eagle was lit, but
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
I like the jaguar a little bit more because it had did you see it? It had like a fiery spin. It was spinning in a circle and spin to win Barbarian, maybe spin to win Spiritborn.
Guys, have you seen the mix what Woody did? The mix of Jaguar and Eagle. When, I don't know, like it was a legendary power, or it was something when the Eagle was covering the whole screen. It's a quick wings, it's some skill. It's some
He used
It's a
razor
passive.
wings with intricacies so that he could spam off any. It doesn't matter what he summoned. It could have been the protector, could have been the hunter, could have been whatever. The seeker, the eagle's what he used, or the jaguar. He brings jaguar in, so he brings in the hunter after he does a potency attack. So potency becomes free. So the chain is potency with the razor wings to circle around your character, and you just hold it. You spam it after you. So you press the button, summon your guy, and then hold it, and your guy just goes completely ape shit, but not ape. You know, so
Yeah, that's not broken at all. That looked like
It looked insane. And this is on level 30. Just imagine Endgame. It's gonna be so insane. Like with all the cooldown reduction, you didn't have the cooldown aspect that we talked about earlier to 60%. And he, by the way, used the Jaguar because it has a 15% chance to reduce its reset its cooldown when you kill an enemy. So he like could keep spamming it. Well, it was like hella cool to see this in like what did they had, like 4 hours of gameplay or something?
I think
yeah,
it might have been more.
They had the time to
Yeah.
see,
They had
to
the time.
understand a little bit what was there.
We all wanted so much more time. Like I loved hanging out with you
Yeah.
guys, but we all could have
Yeah.
used another 4x time, right? Just sit there, do the think tank, and be like, "You do this." You like that would have been.
Yep.
As said earlier, that would have been lit. That would have been sick as. That'd have been right in there for sure. Yeah. What a
Yeah, I mean,
lovely-
I think the event overall, like from Blizzard's side, it was great, man. Like
Yeah.
for me, seeing the US the first time and stuff, I couldn't have expected it any better. But if I had one point of feedback, more gameplay. Like
Yes.
always. I mean, for me personally, it would never be enough. Like I could play for 20 hours, no sleep. Like in this class, I could have played it for 20 hours. But like just having like a 2-hour gameplay segment in like a multi-day event is like, yeah, maybe a bit more gameplay. That would have been nice.
Would be a little bit better. But well, next time Gamescom.
I'll be there. Who's coming?
Not me. Not me.
Not me.
Come
Yes,
on.
obviously.
Have you been to Germany, Barricade?
Never. No, but I can.
There you go.
But there's a reason. Yeah.
Sehr gut, ja, ja.
Das ist gut, yeah. Maybe. Who knows? When is it? When is Gate? When is this? Let me write this.
End of August, like 23rd, 24th, 25th, I think. It's one of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never been to Europe.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, Don, you too, man.
Maybe I'll sign up for the Portal event where you can like get a free flight and everything out to Gamescom.
Okay.
Hey guys, Don.
Yeah, Anna.
Here. Nice to meet you.
And I think you already did an IRL stream last year in Gamescom,
Yeah,
right?
guys, I'm coming. Yeah, I'm going to the Gamescom and I will be streaming live and we'll be showing the gameplay.
Oh.
Okay, we'll be streaming. Let's go.
Here we go.
Awesome.
Guys.
You can be there with us virtually.
Yep.
And everybody in the chats as well. Let's go.
Yep. With the plushie. You gotta have the plushie, right? Make sure it's recording. Yes.
I got
It's
something.
plushy.
I got something.
Plushie.
Yeah, they teach me that it's
Surprise.
plushy, but I'm calling it plushy, but they teach me that it's plush. Ah, damn it. But anyway, yeah, Gamescom gonna be definitely cool. Guys, I don't know, have you seen or not, that the Blizzard is doing this, like, special promotion that you can win, theoretically, trip to the Gamescom trip to Germany.
Yeah.
5 people plus 1, so you can even bring someone with you to Germany and drink German beer. And yeah, Ali play Spiritborn, but come on.
Good beer.
Drink German beer. That's how it goes. But guys,
Okay.
I need
You
to
gotta get the full
yeah.
culture experience, man.
Yeah. Schnitzels, pretzels, and beer.
Schnitzel,
Okay. And
Bratwurst, and
how do you say cheese? Is cheese case? What is
Kaza.
it?
Yeah.
Kaza. Close.
Kaza.
Kaza house. Cheese house. There we go. Sick. Right on. Cool.
So, I need to add some negativity. We cannot go super positive. Who we are? We're Diablo content creators. We cannot go always super positive. People,
Not enough gameplay time. That was already my critique. Go ahead.
what gonna happen with other characters if Rob is right now saying no to Barbarian and that he gonna
But they
play
nerfed it.
Spiritborn? Okay. Let's say they listen to you, they buff right now, they buff the Barbarian. You wanna tell me that on the expansion you're gonna play Barbarian and not the Spiritborn?
I'm gonna play both. I mean, either way, I wanna play both. It just depends on who am I playing first. And as of right now, seeing the Spiritborn, I'm gonna play Spiritborn first. But then we're gonna play both classes either way.
See, I kinda-
Okay. But how do you
See, I kind of feel
guys?
like. See, Rob, I actually kind of assume that you're going to play Barb again, and so this is my reasoning.
I will be, definitely.
But I think that you're going to start with Barb, and the reason is that they're going to make changes. They're probably going to like touch up some skills. Like I kind of noticed that the Spiritborn has like 4 ultimates, for example, and I don't think like any other class has 4 ultimates. So it kind of leads me to believe that they're going to be retouching those for other classes, maybe adding more of them or something. But then also there's probably going to be some sort of like race event to be the first people to like kill some new endgame boss or get to
The first
whatever the
Spiritborn who will do it.
I'm all for it.
and so like I think that like just you playing Barb again is going to kind of like be like a big advantage for you type of thing. And so like I would be kind of surprised if you actually did start Spiritborn. Not just, I mean, it would probably be OP character, which I think is expected. A lot of people are like, it's going to be an OP class, but yeah, I kind of feel like people are still going to kind of stick a lot with their mains, kind of like wait for things to shake out a little bit with Spiritborn if they're like trying to go super duper fast.
Which character will you try on release?
Like it'll be like I said, like it'll be really difficult if I'm like, oh, I kind of want to race, I kind of want to compete, because like when Season 0 came out, like me, Gazzy, Paul's, Gazzy's mod that you met at the event, we all tried to race basically to be the first level 100s. We were right there behind Rob, but then he got these like really fancy gloves and gained like 6 levels in like an hour.
Well, I also had the best strategy, I think, because I went to sleep before showing my actual strategy. So like we going for like, what was it, like 30 hours? Not doing any split dungeons. Then we went to sleep. We woke up and then Champion's Demise all the way.
Well, I think that our strategy was actually better than Champion's Demise, but we didn't have the beta test to go and test all the end game. You're the only dude who actually in the like the beta test thing like took it all the way to 100 for what I understand. But like Malkin's Works was incredibly overpowered.
Oh yeah, there was like so many elites on early. Yeah, I remember.
It was like 18 to 25 elites because we went through and counted after the fact to see how many it was. And I was like, all right, nobody say anything to anybody. Just let it like leak out from Twitch. But it, like, it was on like, everybody in the top was doing it. And so it got nerfed really, really bad. And we spent a lot of time getting our like sigils up for the crit and the vulnerable, and they nerfed the crap out of that. And that just really, like, we kind of didn't adjust to that afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they also nerfed the gloves that you were mentioning. The Gore's devastating gloves for the whirlwind buff. Like, they got, like, as soon as I found them, I made, like, 2 clips hitting for, like, 3 trillion or something. And then they nerfed it. Yeah. They disabled it completely. Like, it was not doing anything. Like, while we were playing, it felt so bad and they nerfed it. And then a couple hours later, they also nerfed the Shald Ring. And they just kept nerfing it, man. Like, all the time while we were playing, while the race was going on. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Vessel of Hatred.
During the race, damn it, that was super insane.
Yeah, during the race, and people were pissed about it. I mean, rightfully so. And I mean, I reported this, like, during the betas, right? Like, I reported this, they didn't fix it. And then, like, I mean, comes the day of the launch, it's in the game, it's still broken, and then they disable it.
Oh,
well, then on top of that,
Yeah, we forgot. I think there was just not enough time. They were like, I mean, you guys hear all the rumors or whatever, or reports. I mean, there was, like, COVID and a bunch of crazy stuff, so.
Yeah, 100%.
Can happen.
Well, the one thing I would give them big credit for the race was the fact that the server stability was insanely good. Like, coming from Path of Exile, where you sit in, like, queue for sometimes, like, hours. If the servers crash, it's, like, game over. Like, I've been in a league where they just roll the whole thing back because one guy could get past one zone in the story, and then nobody else could, and he's, like, level 80, and then everybody else is, like, stuck in Act 2. Farming oak over and over again. And there's like, rolling it back. And Diablo 4, super smooth. No real problems. The only time was when everybody's pounding Moggen's works and that zone was dying.
I try to super smooth launch. If we're thinking about how many people were playing, actually, like, I don't know, there were millions at the same time. Wow. Like, whoa. I was actually preparing for the queue party or something like this that we're gonna like in next day. All of those kind of things. I was on the first day. I was like, what?
I didn't expect it at all. We even had like a fallback strategy, like with the 4-player group that I was playing with, like just in case somebody doesn't make it and just like stuck or something. Like we had like all this figured out.
That's big surprise though, right? Like that's why it is the way it is. That's how that goes. So imagine for a second, right? Close your eyes, your imagination's kicking off. So it's the day that the expansion drops. You're telling me you're making a level 1 Spiritborn. I'm taking my hammer, I'm taking my mace, I'm taking my axe, I'm taking my swords, I'm flying right into content. And I'm going to grab Mephisto any way I can, as fast as I can, and see what that feels like. I don't want to make a new guy. I want to take the guy in my journey and rip right through whatever that new stuff is. That's where I'm at. Barb Nation, like I'm chaining him up and I'm pulling him in. I don't care. You know what I mean? Do you guys feel the same way? I guess not. You're going Spiritborn. Kind of crazy.
I was thinking about, actually, before seeing the trailer, I was thinking about going Necromancer just because I want to go, I thought I want to go against everyone else because everyone will be playing Spirit, everyone will be playing the new class. Maybe I should play the Necromancer, but no, this trailer, and after we played it, I lost it, absolutely. No, that's going to be the Spiritborn.
Fair.
I'm going to be there, the one with Centipede running around.
Yeah, I'm just used to
I want to see
playing.
what you guys find. Sorry, man. No, you go ahead, Don. You go, Don. Go.
I'm just used to playing like seasonal games, like tons of Path of Exile, even like Diablo 3, like even Diablo 4. I don't really touch my Eternal characters almost ever, unless I like really specifically want to like test a build. And like for me, part of the journey is like that's the fun part, right? Like if there was like some sort of cash prize or something that I was competing for. Maybe, but I would probably just be like, hey, can I get like a mod or somebody to go like test this out or something? Like I just like kind of figuring stuff out as we go along the way. And like, it's kind of difficult too, to be like, okay, so if we're going to get to the end boss, like typically the story is probably in this game is not going to be like the true end game. And so, yeah, man, I'm just going to start level 1. It's just whatever.
That rush is going to be fun. No, go. That's going to be fun.
So regarding Spiritborn, I sent you all an image here. Look at this.
Yeah,
I think like half the player base or something is just
Too good. I'm gonna share it. Look at this.
This is gonna
It's
be
true,
a
dude.
Diablo launch.
totally
damn it.
true.
Can I don't know, can I show it?
But yeah, basically, I mean,
There should
one
just be
thing
one
about the
necro
story
in there.
is I'm not quite sure if we're gonna even like if you're racing or if there is gonna be an official race. I mean, they had some hints in the recent interviews that they are, or what did they say, like top in mind of priority, but still didn't say that it's gonna happen. But there's gonna be an unofficial race to, I don't know, first Mephisto kill or first whatever the max level is, anyways.
100%.
Yeah, and then the thing is, I think you're just gonna skip the story. Like, why wouldn't you do the story? Like, it just doesn't give any XP. Like, you're just gonna go like, I mean, if you can, and the way they explained this to us in the interviews as well, that if you have the expansion and you make a new Spiritborn, you can do anything, right? You can do like any dungeon.
Yeah.
You don't have to do the story. It's optional. I mean, I'll do it at some point, but I mean,
That's not what I heard.
no.
You need to do.
I heard-
You need to complete the story in the expansion. Yeah. You will have to complete.
Okay,
the story.
maybe.
And I have to say it. You play in the
Yeah,
game.
but why? You can just do
There's
Champions
a
Demise or
beautiful story.
Helltide.
Hold escape. Just hold
But
escape.
wait. I mean, maybe I think we're talking about different things. Like, why do you need to complete the story? Like, you're just gonna go to a Helltide and then you're going to Nightmare Dungeons.
So like, you know, there's a story skip option. I don't think that
that's
story
not this
skip will skip the
button.
story you haven't done yet.
Okay, maybe not. We'll see. I mean, I'm all for
I know
doing
that
the story
it's not
ones.
skippable. The one that that's what I said during the Q&A, that it's in the expansion. The story of the expansion is not skippable. You won't be able to press the skip the story button.
What?
We-
No.
Yeah, they said it. They said it. during
I
the
understood this
Q&A.
completely different, but maybe
I
they
thought
did.
she said like there's a lot of lore. Yes, you can just skip it, but we put in a
No.
lot of work. That's what I heard.
No, you can skip the side quest. You cannot skip.
Oh,
the
I will
sto-
skip the sky. I will skip the side
I know
quest.
this. No,
Skip-
basically, guys, I will find it. I will find it for you.
Okay.
Also.
So what I think they meant when they said you can skip
need
it is
to
you can
complete the
skip the
story
cutscenes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can probably. But this is the same. This is the same how on the release of the full game, the story wasn't skippable. You need to complete it at least once.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, what's stopping me from doing Helltide in the old zones?
That's
You won't be able to
Or
go
Nightmare
to World Tier 3, World
Nothing,
Tier 4,
nothing.
or whatever.
Yeah,
You'll be-
I mean,
you'll
I'm
be
just gonna
able to
level to
push
max
content.
level and then do the story after. Like, that's at least. I mean,
Yeah.
if you wanna, like, if you care, obviously, like for normal players, like you're gonna do the story. The story is gonna be awesome, guys. We're gonna
Yeah.
fight Mephisto or whatever we're gonna fight. It's gonna be amazing. But if you care about like doing a fast level, like, I don't think you're gonna do the story if there's an option to skip it.
Does anybody here care about that though? Like, who's gonna really speed level? Like, nobody does that, right? Like, nobody here does that, right?
Maybe not.
I've never seen Rob
maybe.
level quickly ever.
Yeah. I blink and it's done. I don't know. Am I missing something? It's weird. Yeah.
No
Cool.
one is doing. Yeah, no one is doing this.
I mean, I kind of actually wonder, like, if how the leveling experience is going to change, because compared to Season 0, it's like a completely different journey, right? Like, it used to take for a long time to get to, like, through World Tier 1 and World Tier 2. Now it's like World Tier 3, you're basically, like, running through a sacred armor shop, just grabbing whatever the first thing you get and just going right to the capstone. And so it'd be really interesting to see if they like adjust that in any way.
Guys, but we have now Paragon is unlocking at level 60, which means that total amount of the total amount of levels that your character is gonna get is still gonna be 100, or it's gonna be 110, or is it gonna be a completely different system, or we're gonna get the other amount of Paragon points, basically because we are getting the new Paragon boards and the new Paragon glyphs and all of those kind of things. So actually there is a lot of unknown things, and how the leveling gonna be. Yeah, I guess it will be faster, but yeah, there is a lot of new things are coming.
Do you guys all think it's 110? Do we think the new level cap is gonna be
This
110?
is so dumb. 110 is weird. No.
Yeah, I think so too. But like,
Yeah.
I think it's probably 100, but we have to remember that this whole event was very much like, this is focused on the Spiritborn. There's a lot of stuff that they just didn't have in this build, almost intentionally. Like if you pressed Y and tried to open the Codex of Power, didn't freaking work, which is really annoying. And so I'm assuming that there's a lot of stuff that they just either didn't include or isn't in this part of the build yet. And so we're just like really limited in a lot of information. But anything that they did limit us from seeing, I have to assume is changing in some massive way. So like Paragon probably changing, Codex of Power stuff, like whatever's on that page. I'm assuming that there's like a couple other things on there now that they didn't want to show us now because it's not ready to be shown. So this is like only a Spiritborn event, and we didn't even get to level, right? We only just got a level 30 character.
I mean, nothing official, but I think there were a lot of hints. So first of all, like the level 60, I mean, that was there, like for sure, and we've seen it in this new trailer as well. So new level is most likely going to be 60. And with that, I would assume that we're also going to see some rescaling of Paragon. They did rescale a lot, by the way, if you've seen like the armor values or something. We had like 100 armor at level 30 or something. And all the weapons had less damage than usual. So I think there's like an entire rescaling. And I can totally see them because they've already confirmed in this blog post that they are adding new Paragon boards with an S for every class. That they're definitely going to like rescale the Paragon in some shape or form. Obviously, there's nothing like confirmed, but I mean, it's like 99% they're going to like redo something. And I mean, it could still be level 100 because that was the question, right? But they could just, I don't know, give us 5 points per level. You know, right now, like you're getting a Paragon point like every 25% XP, for example. Like they could completely rescale everything. I mean, I don't know, like they could give us like 1,000 Paragons and then just give it a 1 point per 1 point per level, like normal, or I don't know, like some lower number, 500 or whatever, right? Whatever makes sense. So I think there's a lot of things that they rescaled, and well, they hinted at a lot more content, and probably we're gonna learn about it in August at Gamescom.
Probably, yeah. I think that's gonna be the big stage for like the raid stuff and the whole, we'll get into all this stuff later, but Mercenary System, they did hint at a lot of things, and like, anyway, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot about Mercenaries.
Yep.
By the way, that are coming, but we don't know anything about them. And also, yeah, more details during the Gamescom. But yeah, guys, when I'm thinking about this, we're gonna get, guys, someone counted how many we're getting 24 skills on the Spiritborn. Every character getting new skill or skills. I know that they were determined, but it was a long time ago. How many passives Spiritborn has? Anyone like counted? Spiritborn has more passives than other characters because we're getting now 69 skill points that you can put in this tree. So it's like 11 points more than you had, 10, 11 points more that you previously had. I mean, that's a lot. That's actually a lot of power. So kind of plus extra Paragon boards. So actually, when I'm thinking about this, I think we're gonna have more, not 100, probably something somewhere higher we will go, because everyone will want kind of to put extra Paragon boards, not to get rid of the ones that you already have, but add something, combine something, bring something else, the new things. And that's why only logical that if we're gonna get more points in total, more levels in total.
Okay, let's see.
I mean, looking at the data mine, like basically everything that was in the data mine last year turned out to be true. And I know from some sources this is like a very credible story. Like they did data mine this client, they couldn't open it, but they had all the stuff. So yeah, according to this data mine, there's at least one new skill of each class. And I mean, this also. And they said skills in the blog post, so this is like an early version. So there might be more than one skill as well, right? Because it's true, like the existing classes, they don't have as many skills and they don't have as many passives in the entire skill tree than the Spiritborn has. And going with 69 skill points, it also makes a lot of sense that we're gonna get more stuff. Like maybe even the key passive, maybe the complete new skill that's all been data mined, and then probably some more passives too.
Well, Don made a good point. I never even considered it. He said there's 4 ultimate skills, yeah? One for each guardian. You said that was the first class to do it, but I think that's like true, right? Like everybody else gets 3. Like no, only Druid gets 4. Druid's the only other guy that gets 4. So it's interesting that the only classes that get that 4th are the ones that dip into the spirit realm, you know?
I don't think the Druid actually dips in the spirit realm. I think that they have a completely different.
Did you like that answer? I didn't like the answer. I don't mean to be that
guy.
I
did. From a lore standpoint, I didn't like that.
I didn't like it, dude. How? Yeah.
But I think that the thing, I've always kind of felt that Druid was the last class that they worked on in terms of like the theming and structure, because it has these it has really a lot of this is wolf skill, this is a bear skill, this is earth, this is storm, and it has a lot of themes to it. Whereas barbarian's kind of you just hit stuff. It either bleeds or it doesn't. It's a shout or not. And it doesn't really have any themes, right? Like if you look at Paragon board, this is one of the big strengths of Barb, is that everything kind of just works.
It's a simple class, okay?
Yeah, it's like definitely a grog.
Don't need
Like,
all that
"Well,
fancy stuff.
I don't know. I just hit it.
I just smash, man.
Jesus.
And so like Spiritborn is definitely like it to me it definitely seems like they're like, okay, we did Druid. Now what if we did something similar to this that instead of like transforming into animals, you're like calling on their powers type of thing. Like I don't really feel like the theme of Spiritborn necessarily would have fit with Druid, but it's very clear that they're kind of like close together in terms of how they work.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, guys, and I kind of really hope that they will do. If we're getting just one skill per character, one new skill per character, either it should be I don't know what, the barbarian spirit fighting with. We already had this, but I don't know. Basically, it seems absolutely not enough. Plus, actually, Spiritborn is highly focused on using the ultimates. Currently, today we were rewatching some of the trailers. We rewatched the trailers of the Rogue when the Rogue was introduced. Guys, in the trailer, there was such an amazing rain of arrows. Yeah, I remember when they just showed it. Oh my gosh, Rogue, rain of arrows, it's amazing. Who the hell is using it right now? We're pretty much not using the ultimates that much on any other character. Necromancer has such a beautiful wave of blood, also not using it at all. They should rework, and I really hope that for the old characters, if you want people to play them, we need some changes here in like how you actually see the skills and in the skills that we are not using pretty much at all.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I don't know if like Barricade and Rob, if you guys tested out that new amulet that works with the chain spinny ultimate. I don't even know what it's called anymore. Was that any good?
No. It is horrible.
Yeah.
Like the ultimate skills just have no way of scaling them.
Yeah.
They're worse than most basic or core skills. They have no scaling. They have 45 seconds cooldown. It's like, man. Like even if they add a 0, like it might just be in the realm of being like a possibility. But right now it's just, and I gave this feedback many times. Like the Iron Maelstrom is just so far behind, and it's so sad because man, it's such a cool skill, you know, like spinning around and like this like entire screen AoE and stuff. Such a cool fantasy, and even worse, they nerfed the key passive that nobody was already using, the Walking Arsenal, that is basically like hand in hand with this Iron Maelstrom because you're basically switching through the 3 weapons. And I mean, they just nerfed it even further. Like no one was already using it, and they nerfed it more.
What?
Yeah. Low crons, like all that stuff and the interaction that we had in the PTR. It's unfortunate for all of us because we didn't get a robust and thorough test. So we couldn't do anything in a meaningful time frame, in my opinion, to actually impact change for like what we're talking about. When the ultimate skill of Iron Maelstrom on average is 80% damage, comparable to like 60% of a core skill with the 45-second cooldown, that's not going to work. And so adding a 0 sounds cool, but making it cool is cool. It's like, and I don't think we have a solution there yet. So I totally agree. And part of my feedback with this conversation today is even in the Spiritborn, I feel like some of those ultimates are lackluster in their delivery. Like I don't, and I could speak to that later on or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, I would kind of agree with that. Like the gorilla, like felt like more of a defensive ultimate than an offensive. It's like boom, slam.
And you are healing or protected in the circle. But if it's the one that's not moving, not stacking, you cannot cast it multiple times, and it has a longer cooldown. It has 40 seconds cooldown or something like this. Gorilla will be you're not gonna use it that much in comparison with other skills. It is like a questionable guardian.
Yeah, I think that the eagle is probably gonna get used the most. The eagle and the hunter, so the seeker and the hunter are going to get used a bunch simply because you can probably use them a lot more and use that like intricacy over, and so you just keep spamming out your like potency skills, and like I think that's going to be very popular with Razor Wings to just spam the screen. Basically,
I don't want to miss this point because I think I just kicked off, unfortunately. But Annika, you make a good point about the old classes getting new skills, right? You guys, did you feel the same way I did? We were talking to the dev team about the expansion, right? They're very passionate about us going to the jungle and the decisions that they make when we're in there. Like the guy rips off a branch and he practices with it. He turns it into a weapon. That's why they have 2-handed weapons. Like they're very logically I guess applying that theme of Nuantu in their character, right? Like we all felt like we're going to the jungle warrior, and so wouldn't it make sense if that's the flow, that the new skill for the barb might be something jungle based, like whatever that might mean, like a rogue, same thing. Their new skill applies to the area you're going into, and so for a sorceress, she's lost in the sauce, but everybody else has a nice time. Like who knows, right? Like what does a barb get to do? Where's like weapon throw for the barb? We missed that skill. Gives barb like a nice range option. Doesn't have that yet. Just thoughts like that. Like I wouldn't be surprised if the team has had talks and they deliver on something, I guess like organic for the area we're in. Do you guys have thoughts on that?
I would totally agree. I think that like their whole lore part of their game is important, and like kind of the story that they're telling with their game is important.
Yeah.
And you can tell that just based on the fact that like who they have on the stage talking about the game is like the very first person is the lore person, and so it's definitely something they make decisions about.
Because lore is cool. Guys, I will be just super happy if they will add it. So far, Data Mind was like one skill. I think it's just not enough. I hope that they will bring some juice for the characters. Something more.
They did
If it
say
will be
skills,
themed,
so
if it will be themed with the area, with this new area, it will be absolutely godly, and they can go this way. Definitely they can, because they care, about it. But I will be just super happy if it's more. We need more, and then it will be great. Because actually, when the game was just released, I was counting. I have somewhere also the notes where I counted all the skills for every character. We have some of them that have like 22. I think Necromancer has 22 skills, and Druid has 26. We need more. Can we have more skills?
yeah,
Okay, cool.
it would be cool. I think if it's one skill, I mean, they said skills, but they might just refer to all the classes, right? But like, what was Data Mind was familiar for the sorcerer. So I just have immediately like Diablo 3 in mind. They're like a little like, thing that flies with you that does cool stuff. Barbarian has the weapon throw. Like you mentioned, Barry K.
Oh yeah.
Rogue. I mean, again, this is not confirmed. This is data mine, but I mean, everything else in this data mine was correct.
Guaranteed. yeah.
Everything else in this data mine was correct. A rogue has a riposte, which is like a fencing technique, I think. So it's like going to be like a melee skill. Necromancer has Death Onslaught, whatever that's going to be. And Druid just says Rock Ball, New Earth skill. I mean, I don't know. We can't already have Boulder, but like whatever that's gonna be, right? I mean, might just be the broken names in it.
Okay.
Rock Ball.
Rock Ball. Familiar, huh?
Yeah, I don't know, but after the Spiritborn, like,
we have Boulder
what's the reason to still play Druid?
Exactly.
Be like, I think they kind of like asked this question, but they didn't really had that good an answer. I feel like the Spiritborn is like what a Druid is, but better in many ways. Like you can like shift all these skills, get all these different skill tags, have all these nature vibes and stuff. I don't know, man. I just feel like a Druid is gonna go under a little bit. We'll see. This is just like what I'm hearing and seeing so far. Like, what's the difference between Druid and Spiritborn?
I apologize to Druid players all day. I was like, dude, I'm so sorry about your old class. Like, hope you like the Spiritborn, though.
I'm so sorry. Like,
the
class is dead.
To play it, that's it, and then you're done. But actually, guys, when I'm thinking about this, almost every character has has the style. Sorceress is going fire, lightning, cold. Why not? Why adding just one skill? If you can add for these play styles for fire, lightning, cold, you can add 3 skills. So you would kind of add more to the picture. The same way to like all the different characters, whatever Barbarian is doing there on the slashing. So here you decide yourself. But yeah, all the other characters, like add some hurricanes, add something for shape-shifting, for bear, for wolf, for the druid. Yeah, make it like funnier. We believe in the druid, guys. We believe that maybe it will survive Spiritborn, but...
Well, even for sorcerer, you could definitely like even add a 4th branch of magic, like arcane or something, or even time magic, like... The wizard has a whole host of stuff.
Everyone is like, oh my gosh, that's the wizard. That's the wizard from Diablo 3.
Yeah, like, but lore-wise, they're different, of course, but, there's definitely stuff that they could drag over from wizard.
They could add something. 100%. But guys,
I think that adding
sorry.
not just skills though, but they could also be adding a ton of aspects. Like there's a whole bunch of skills that don't have any real aspect to them. Like upheaval, for example, I don't think really has an aspect, and like just like making stuff better. Like I like Whirlwind a lot, but Whirlwind basically right now is just tornado build. I don't really see anybody really spinning to win without the tornadoes right now. The tornadoes are really, really strong. I don't know why you wouldn't use them, but I would kind of hope that they like bring us like a thing where you can't generate tornadoes, but like the whirlwind itself is bigger and it does a crap ton of damage. Because to me, spin to win fantasy really isn't getting fulfilled by having tons of tornadoes fly out of me. That's just like I'm playing cast on crit basically right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think core skills in general at the moment, especially for Bar, but also for other classes in the game, they don't really feel like core skills. Like most builds nowadays are like based around some basic skill or some like crazy broken mechanic or some other stuff. But especially core skills on Barb, like they seem always to be support. On the discussion of skills, like I mean, I would be okay with like one skill for every class, but then also giving us like another like key passive or something, because some classes, I think Sorcerer has like 6 or something, right? I mean, they're buffing them because they were pretty bad. But like, for example, Barb only has 4, and I think Necro also only has 4. And I mean, there's definitely like room to add key passives as well, which like basically open up entire like new combination possibilities and making them more viable, as well as just a bunch of like normal passives. So yeah, I mean, the more skills, the better. But if it's one skill and then they add like key passives or just normal passives and aspects and other things, I'm excited.
I mean, sadly enough, I think sadly enough, Druid has the most key passives.
It does,
because they have 6.
Yeah, so I think Sork has 6 or 5.
Has 6. 2
yeah,
for
6
each element.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
They all suck. Unlucky.
Yeah, I mean, like I've used a whole bunch of them, but they're I don't know. Some of them were really, really good. Like Shatter, I feel like the only reason people used it was because it was bugged, and it like doesn't really help you with the boss, which kind of does suck. So
I mean, you're looking at the tier list right now. Every S tier build has a bug, at least one. So that's basically, and this is like actually pretty sad, but basically all the best builds in the game, they always revolve around some double dipping or some crazy scaling or some unintentional bug, like every time.
But I'm kind of thankful for the fact that Blizzard's stance on the bugs has not been nerf it, because like we experienced that on season 0 where they were just like squashing what was sometimes a bug and other times just like, oh, we didn't intend for this unique to be this strong, even though Rob told us about it, made a video, Reddit was talking about it for weeks beforehand, everybody was talking about how you want to get these gloves, but then Rob finally gets them.
Dude, Rod Ferguson literally said in an interview, just let them have fun with it. If you feel like you're cheating or you feel like you're exploiting, just let them have fun with it. We gotta fix it next season, don't worry. He literally said, so yeah.
That's always been my like balanced opinion around like season content and like stuff is like, you want it to be so much fun and like you feel like overpowered to the point where it's like, hey, if you missed that season, people will talk about it in the past, like later, like, oh my gosh, you weren't there for when we had the little like robot pet in season 3. It was insane. It was doing all this cool stuff. You definitely have to check out this season because there's probably gonna be something else that's really ridiculous and fun. And that should like always be the vibe. And if it's not the vibe, then that season's not gonna do good.
Yeah, so even like to the conversation of skills, I'm thinking like you could add one skill for every class, but then back it up with something very interesting through legendary aspects, new Paragon nodes, or really cool uniques. And when I talk about really cool uniques, I'm not trying to besmirch anybody. We could use a lot more work on that front. I think a good unique is like the Fractured Winter Glass, right? It actually changed the way you make a build and the way you play. The Barbarian could do something like, I would like to see more of that. I'm always asking for more group play benefits where I team up with a Barb as a Sork and I throw like a Frozen Orb and I empower the Barb's weapon with ice for a couple of attacks. I don't think the game's anywhere near that. That's not a, it's just my want. Like it may not ever happen, but I think the game is more fun that way to play with people. If it is, like back to the point, if it is just one skill, there's a lot of systems that we could lean on to make that still interesting and kind of fun. And so I'm not sure that one is not enough. I just hope that they've given it some thought. Like they've been working on this expansion for a year, right? They've been working on the Spiritborn for over a year.
Before the game launched, they started working on this, they said.
Yeah, so we know we know this area is polished. Like, and that watching Rax's conversation with Brent was very good. Like, you get to hear what they've been doing, and so that's a lot of time to polish that part of the world. So I hope when we get there, it's exciting with items and stuff like that and choices, and we'll see what one skill feels like. But wouldn't be surprised if it is kind of cool. Hopefully it is, right?
Yeah. I mean, they definitely had some new stuff. Like, Anna, you did that like Darkness Stronghold. I didn't get to do that. Like,
I didn't do it either yet.
You want to talk about like what that was like? Because
really confusing. I feel it, maybe because it was just all new and new character and everything. But I did 2 strongholds, and both of them, at least they felt for me longer than a normal stronghold. Definitely the dark one, super weird. Literally, you don't see there absolutely anything, and you don't understand quite. It's not very intuitive what you're supposed to do. How you need to go through this darkness. And inside, there is a dungeon inside the stronghold. So little dungeons, so you're going also there inside, and it's creepy. It's super, super creepy. And I went there with an eagle, and actually I was like blasting. I destroyed the boss relatively easy. 15 minutes later, I finally found the boss. And I did him. But I saw people are going there with Jaguar, and even Woody went there with Jaguar, and he was smashed. This boss destroyed him a couple of times. He died, twice. He died twice.
Yeah, twice.
And amazing, just wonderful. Oh my gosh, he chose the wrong style, the wrong character. Even though Jaguar doesn't seem like so weak, but so squishy, but this boss like absolutely destroyed him. But
I felt like the Jaguar build was strange, a little bit.
Yeah.
Guys, just wanted to add on the strongholds. By the way, I forgot to say, I'm actually super surprised that they are adding them. That we again see those strongholds. Because currently in the game, strongholds is the place where you don't wanna go, where you do not. There are waypoints, and you kind of need them, but you don't wanna. Oh my gosh, I will run. I will not do it. I will run to the world boss. And yes, they are cool. They were really cool to do them once, to do them twice. But right now, every season, you don't wanna repeat them. And I hope maybe there is some new idea behind. There will be something else we will be also able to do with them after you're completing it once. Because anyway, after you complete it, after you figure out this mechanic once, twice, then repeating them all the time, this will be, again, not the most favorite thing to do. I really hope that there is something like more, something else hiding there behind those strongholds.
Strongholds are probably the weakest piece of content in the game right now. The only one I've touched in the last 2 seasons is the Druid one, because you have to. So
I actually like doing them. I think they're fun to do. I don't think that they live up to the promise after. Like, I think there's a lot more, like, you could put a lot more legs behind the structure. But when we first did it, did you guys like doing Strongholds the first time, or did you not enjoy that time?
I did.
Not
the first
considering
time
Druid.
they were super, super cool because they're unique story, all of this. It's fun. You have a cool quest there. But the fact that you need to repeat them all the time, this is the annoying moment.
Yeah, and I think they do something like different now with the strongholds, where it's more like you gotta figure out the mechanic. There's like a little bit of this riddle piece and stuff. And I could definitely see some people liking this part of the aspect of the game. But for me, having these like riddles and like these like puzzles to figure out, that's not really why I want to play Diablo, you know. So I like that they are trying something new with this, like, you know, more broad mechanics that you have to do, or like riddles you have to solve. But this is not the reason like why I would play Diablo. And I think I would do the Stronghold once and then just never again. And actually watching both Woody and Rux doing the game, doing the interview with the game director, and they were both in this Stronghold while asking questions, multitasking in the dark.
In the dark. Yeah.
And I like half an hour plus. I think Rax even quit. Like he just left the game. Stronghold. So I mean, it's for like I think a more of a niche of the Diablo player base, making these kind of like riddles and stuff. It's fine because it's like not a repeatable content, but I would. Little bit like myself personally, I would hope they will focus development time somewhere else than making these kind of things.
Yeah.
I think that they were enjoyable in the beta when they were like kind of higher level than us. I think they're like 10 levels higher, and like it actually kind of felt like a challenge. Like there was kind of like you your build was good in hardcore in the beta if you could kill the vampire stronghold. Me and like a whole bunch of people in my community were trying to kill the goat stronghold as low as level as possible. So I think I did it like a level 8 on a necromancer.
We used to farm Cordragon Barrack corpses, dude. We were doing corpse runs trying to get loot to get legendaries, brother, because that was the tech. Your character was slapping. If you could get that leap tech down up, that was the good stuff, right? Yeah.
Well, like it was a good way to like we only did it because it was a good way to get loot. But in terms of like enjoying the challenge, I did enjoy the challenge of it, like in the beta. But like in terms of the like going back and doing it ever since launch, I really have. The only reason I've done Strongholds period is for renown. I don't think that like there's a lot of Strongholds that I haven't really done since then. I think there's like one in like Kazakhstan that like blocks your path from getting to the PvP zone. I think I've done that one a couple of times. And if it's not on the season journey, I don't do a Stronghold. Zero desire. If I can't do a nightmare dungeon, cool. Just gonna scrap that sigil, make another one. It just doesn't matter. It's not worth the time, especially if you want to make multiple characters, because you would have to freaking do them on all of the characters.
That's the other point. Yeah.
I got a question about
What was there a smiley like flying around in your camera?
Yeah, he's got all kinds of smileys.
Like really distracted me. Like, what is this? They're like
little things.
It must be all of the.
Oh, you're lagging, I think.
You're lagging out? No. Stay.
I have an idea in chat. Scale strongholds that have a particular item drop.
This is my question. Okay, I got a question for you guys. Do you guys like ARPGs where you go to a specific place to get specific rewards? Do you like that gameplay mode? I do. Do you like that?
As an option, I like that. Like, not the only thing. Like, I mean, like, it can drop anywhere, but like in this place, it has a way higher probability of dropping. So you can kind of like, so you can kind of like target from it. I really like that concept. I like how they did it with like the Uber bosses and Druid, where you can target from this kind of stuff. It's way cooler than just like being at the complete mercy of RNG. Like, maybe I'm gonna find this in like 1,000 hours of gameplay, or I'm not.
I got something. Don, what do you think? I got something to follow up.
For some stuff, I do like this, but I don't really know how they would integrate that into Strongholds, especially because right now they're not repeatable. But it would be cool if there was like, I would like there to be like some additional currency items in the game. Like I would love the ability just to re-roll the stat ranges on my stuff, because especially this is, I think the big problem with tempering is that if you don't, I mean, if you like, I've hit a lot of tempers where it's like, yay, I got the right thing. It is literally the bottom of the barrel on the temper roll. And there's nothing you like. It's just like, okay, so do I risk it and risk the brick because it's already good, or do I just get a new item? And like, and I just think that's horrible. So like, if they added to Stronghold some like cool currency options or something, I could see doing that.
How about something like this, just off the top? Because we're talking about it, and Anna Cake had a great point. She's like, I don't want to run them all the time. And Don said the same thing. I don't want to do it on all my characters. What if the Stronghold structure was different for us to enjoy? So it's like, when you complete every Stronghold on Sanctuary's map, like you do them all, that's your chase. Check, done. You unlock a fortress, which is a unique area you can go into that'll produce specific monster types with specific gear or specific rewards, so that like you could get a resplendent spark there, or you could get like, I don't know, Neth Iron or something that's very lucrative for the new endgame loop, whatever that is. But in addition, you could get bosses that give you a specific kind of item. That's where you go, you know, but it's gonna be tough. It's not easy. Like the tax is you gotta like play the game and do the adventure, and this like the reward is boom, fortress comes up, right? Demon head inside, and you like go in and like, you know, you might get clapped. Like you might get clapped, but that's I like that. I would go for that. What do you guys think?
That does sound kind of cool.
Okay.
Sorry, Anna,
So say.
So I haven't actually played this particular game, but I've known so many people that play Helldivers too. Yeah, and one of the things that they do is they'll have like mission, like to open up a new planet or something. Like we need people to come do these missions on this planet. What if it was like that with Strongholds, where it's like, oh no, the vampires have taken back over Frozen Peaks. Help drive them back, Wanderer, and so that we can. And
then you're like, no.
But then, so you get rewards like for that week doing these stronghold areas. Like you can do them a couple of times. Like it fills up a meter across the entire world. Like everybody's working together. And once it's been done enough, like that big fortress thing opens up.
Yes. Okay,
and so the fortress opens up. Hey guys, the fortress is up. Let's freaking go. It's got like guaranteed 1 GA off of the final boss every single time. We're in there. We're grinding this thing. Or like, hey, this fortress like always drops helmets. It has a pretty high chance of dropping Shakos or Harlequin Crest, whatever you want to call them. Like, let's freaking go. Like, we're farming to this weekend. This is going to be a real blaster weekend. And I think like one of the things the D4 kind of innovated on, it's the first like open world ARPG type of thing that's kind of going on. And they haven't really leaned into that as a big thing, but I do like kind of like when I wander around the world just seeing people fighting and stuff and be like, oh wow, this guy's about to die, let me help him out, and stuff like that. Like I just wish that there was kind of more open world mega events that like we could get hyped about.
I got something to follow up on that, but what do you think, Rob? You didn't get a chance to speak.
Yeah,
on that.
I think that's actually a pretty cool idea. I mean, you always got to like think about like why do people want to do this? And if there's like a crazy reward, like target farmable or whatever it's going to be attached to it, and the content is going to be kind of cool. Because I remember, man, some strongholds were super cool, like graphics wise, and also like as repeatable content. And some of them where you have to like, I don't know, find like a little skeleton or something. Like that one I didn't like so much, for example. But like as long as there's like some cool stuff happening, and I mean they can juice them up and they can make them more difficult, and yeah, maybe be a part of the end game loop with like some appropriate rewards. That would be very cool.
To Don's comment about like a weekly thing, I had a member in my community here speak up. It was pretty cool. What if that became the clan task for the week? Go ahead and annihilate that fortress. That's the clan goal. That's why we want to team up. That's why we want to be together. But if you're not in a clan, I could see you standing around that stone at the dungeon, go like, "Hey, you need a team? Let's go!" Like you could do that too. But if you got a clan, it's like it's easy, right? So that's how we bring the world together. Anyway, I'm just writing all this shit down because it's sick. But good stuff. Love it too.
Oh, yeah.
So as a content creator, the clan thing to me is like, oh yeah, this is really good. But I always try to put myself in the footsteps of like, if I wasn't a content creator, how would I feel about this? And I was like, I've been in enough World of Warcraft guilds where it's exploded, or somebody's like, I'm the guild lead now. I'm gonna tell you what to do. You better pay me at 500 gold per week in order to stay in this thing. And I don't really like. I don't like adding stuff like that. You have to be in a group. Like Thrown in Liberty, for example, right now is a game that's coming out, and if you're not in a like one of the best guilds, you're basically not playing the game. And so I don't know if like that's something that would be something that I would see as a positive, but I can see why people.
I can change your mind. Yeah, I won't charge you 500. I'll charge you 15 cents, and we'll do it together for free. Let's go. Who cares, right? Easy. Yeah.
I mean, as long as we're getting like social systems alongside of these things, and they hinted at it in these interviews as well with like whatever co-op system that's going to come in. But they also are not forgetting about the solo players. I think they said about 85% of the people play solo. 85% of the entire player base plays alone. So they are like really mindful when designing these like co-op, whatever it is going to be raid, or they haven't said the word raid yet. So it might be anything else as well. But as long as they have like this as an option, and then you also have like some social systems, maybe double down on some of the clan features, have like a group finder or something, so you don't have to rely on third-party websites. I think that would be just a massive W for the game in general. And then I think some more people than these 85% or than these 15% that play in group at the moment would play in, or would more be enticed to also play in groups while being completely optional still.
Have any of you guys played Lost Ark at all?
Yeah.
I did a little bit.
No.
So basically Lost Ark, and I want them to steal this 100% for for Diablo 4. And they have like the little board basically where you can go and find a group. It's really easy to like people see all people's groups up listed. You can just like queue into stuff. And like you can also see what the rewards are for the particular bosses. And how cool would it be to go up to like a wanted board and it shows all of the boss letter bosses, shows you the materials you need to summon them, and shows you like which uniques drop from them more frequently. Because like this gets rid of like needing third-party tool to make groups, gets rid of like having to go to some website to figure out like, oh wait, so where does this unique drop from?
Actually having some information what the hell I'm farming here right now would be super useful, and not having like 5 tabs where I am going. So which uniques are dropping here?
Yeah, I just
What
want
am I
more
doing
stuff
here?
in the game, more info in the game, more.
Would be super useful.
Because
But
the
on
more
the
you, I
other
feel like
hand,
the more
guys,
you.
we're making this content.
I
Yeah, like
made the joke about like like Rob kills it for the community. He slaps. Not to put him on a pedestal, but the guy puts out so many builds that help people that have a real, like, they work. We don't have a time to play all day. And so what about the idea of like an NPC in the game where it's called like a scribe or something? Like, oh, I've heard the details of this adventure. I'd like to go ahead and like imagine that. And so like boom, you can like import a string that just sets your character up. There's your Paragon. There's your skills. There's your gear. If you don't have it, it's like a mystical kind of like question mark. Oh, I don't have that yet. And then Rob can keep pumping out builds. Anna can keep pumping out like Witch Doctor builds. Don's out there slap with the Sork. But anybody that likes what we're doing, they could just go talk to the scribe and be like, I want that too. And then bang, you're just done in game. You don't have to like inspect characters, save adventure tome or whatever. Take that tome to the NPC, go, oh, that's a pretty cool page. Boom. And then you're that character, That'd be kind of cool, no?
Yeah, absolutely. Torchlight Infinite actually has a system just like this, where
okay, there we go. Sure.
you can look up other people's builds, and then you can be like, oh, apply this build, and it will show you all of the passive point options, all of the skill options, all of the skill support gems and stuff. Like you can just follow it, and it's great for leveling too, because you're like, I'm just going to click the leveling build, and like it will recommend you a leveling build if you don't know what you're doing, or you can just free wing it as well. And I think that like just having the ability to see in game your build options. Obviously, this is kind of bad for content creators, but I want the game to be like really good for everybody. And like just having the ability to like, I just put in a code and somebody just pulls in my build into the game and they're able to follow it. And you're even able to like thumbs up people's builds in the game. And so like typically the content creators, well, the content creator, like, so like it might seem like a bad thing to have these builds in the game because it's taking away from your content, but it's actually like, hey, people see like, hey, Rob's Whirlwind build here has got like 40,000 thumbs ups. Who's this Rob guy? And it has a link to his YouTube video on the build guide in the game. Cool. Let me click this video and watch it. And it's just like great creator tools. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's not like forced on people and stuff, because a lot of people just like to like run their own builds and just don't really mind about this kind of stuff. But I mean, they have to like start baseline with just any API. Like, I mean, we had this in D3 already, and I mean, many of you know this coming from D3. Like, we had like the website where you can just like basically take your profile, import it into the planner or something. Like, we don't have any of this, right? Or like make a planner and then import it into the game, or something like this, and then compare, like, like we had this in D3, that basically you could just take your battle tag and import it into a planner, and then it would have all your stats, and then you could compare, okay, on my ring, do I want 6 crit chance, or do I want 50 crit damage? What's going to give me more damage and stuff? And we don't have any API, as far as I know, at the moment for Diablo 4. So I mean, this is like we're like 10 levels like further than this. So we would like to like just have the baseline, please, Blizzard. That would be nice.
Well, the worst thing is, I'm sure you get this all the time, Rob, is that if you want to share your Paragon board with somebody, they can't even inspect you. They can't. Like in the profile, there's so much stuff missing. Even just something like people ask me, how many hours have you played in Diablo 4? And my answer is always yes, because I don't know the actual amount, because we can't see it in our profile. Man, and even like, 10 years ago, we had this technology in Diablo 3, and in Diablo 4, it tracks it like internally, because you can see it in your hardcore character. When you die, you see how many hours you played. But like with like a normal character, you just can't really like see it, or like at least not like account wide or something. So there's like so many bare bones systems, man, in the game that are still missing. And just seeing like how many people are working on Diablo 4, please make that possible.
But yeah, that's maybe actually the problem, that there are too many people. But well, guys, I wanted to ask you, because we talked with the developers, but I have a little bit of a mess in my head. I don't remember who said what about this raid, that they're not calling it raid, but it's some co-op activity. This is some activity that will be available with the expansion, where we will be fighting God knows what. Is it going to be completable solo? You don't need a team there, or you need a team there? But it's a co-op activity.
Can I step up to the plate, boys? Can I try?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, go. I'm gonna go. Here we go. So I think this is why mercenaries are brought in the game, and I'll back up the statement. If 85% of Diablo 4's player base plays solo, and the current implementation of their latest Diablo franchise game is multiplayer online, how do you bridge the gap between the solo experience for a collaborative event or leave everybody solo stranded? You introduce mercenaries, tanks, DPS, proactive healer guys, okay? And then I get to have, Jimmy Smits comes home after a 14-hour shift and goes, I really like my necro, but I can't tank anything, so what do? Well, thanks, Adam Jackson. You made the Golem, slam dunk Shaquille O'Neal the content, but that's still not good enough. So what's the bridge? The bridge is mercenaries, okay? So here's what I guess is going to happen in this raid event. You're going to either recruit your mercenaries because nobody's online, or you're going to bring your friends in for an even easier time. But that's what mercenaries are for. And I would imagine that we're going to see, this is just my speculation, but I imagine that's why they're in the game, and that's how we're going to introduce collaborative play or not for the whole player base of 85% solo play. That's what I think. That's why I think they're there. That's check that, Mark. Thank you very much. What do you guys think?
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
It's also pretty realistic.
I think would
yeah.
To me, I was always kind of like, why are they adding mercenaries? It kind of felt like a conscious choice not to include them. But I guess season 3 was kind of like the dry run for it, and so I personally, I played a lot of season 3, and I didn't really like the minion in the beginning, and it kind of started to grow on me a little bit. But mostly because it just gets stuck on everything, and so it does make me a little hesitant. Because even as a necromancer, you can't command the army of the undead you have. You just kind of hope that they hit the stuff that you want, and kind of makes you a little bit hesitant about the mercenary.
Yeah, but with all this in mind, so we have Diablo 2 mercenaries that are always with you, even in party play. We have Diablo 3 mercenaries, which is kind of like a solo-only thing. So with the Diablo 4 and the open world, and I tried to ask this question, but they wouldn't answer, of course. But what do you think? Is it going to be when you're doing, I don't know, okay, when you're doing a solo raid or endgame activity, you can bring your mercenary. But what if you're already in a group? You're already with 4 friends in the open world. You're going to have your mercenary or no? What do you think?
Player box 1, player box 2, player box 3, player box 4. Rob, Anna's there, okay? Number 3, we both choose. I want my tank. We both choose DPS. We both choose what kind of mercenary we want. And if both people agree, bring them into the fight. That's your run. Maybe
one mercenary in the party
per person.
Per person.
Or one person could choose up to 3 different slots to make that player 4 thing happen, right? Does that make sense? You want me to delve into that? Okay.
So kind of like having the mercenary play the role.
Party. You have 4 people in the party. How many mercenaries you're gonna get? 4 additional, then you have 8 people.
If you're by yourself, you get to choose 3. If there's 2 people, you choose 2 PCs, two computers, right? Two mercs. If there's 3 people, you get 1.
But if
you're saying it's always going to be
you are not getting
it's a possibility.
It's a speculation. I'm just throwing out.
Yeah.
Because we already have the UI. We know they're busy working on things, right? We already have the interface. When you start a party, we're going to go run a nightmare dungeon. You see, players 4 icon comes up. We all agree. I imagine that would be easy to just implement into a mercenary recruitment process where it's okay. Which mercenary do you want? 2 people agree on this one. Okay, that's the one you get. Or the game will, I assume that's what's going to happen. Yeah.
We just have the party lead. They're the ones setting up the group. So
Yeah. You chose wrong, Jimmy Smits. Now we were lost because you chose the wrong tank, right? Yeah.
I'm just all for it. Do it the way they did it in Diablo 2, man. Just freedom to the player. You can bring it anywhere you want, or you don't bring it. Your choice.
I didn't really like the I didn't play a ton of Diablo 2, so I feel like I was always micromanaging my mercenary, and then I'd look away to talk to chat, and all of a sudden they're dead on the ground. I'm like, well.
And the Diablo 2 mercenary Emilio MVP, man. They only had 3 item slots pretty much, and there was a lot more depth to them in comparison to D3 where they had 13 item slots. Diablo 2 mercenary system was freaking great.
I mean,
it wasn't perfect, but it was certainly very, very good.
I like the Diablo 3 companion system now. In the beginning, it were kind of just if I don't have Unity and Undying Ring, why are you here? So
Don, think about this either from a content creator perspective or actually just a player playing the game, right? Isn't it cool that you could have a mercenary? If we go with Rob's suggestion in Diablo 2, which, if we go that way, you can build your character to amplify the power of your mercenary. Or you can go make your mercenary help you. That player agency is kind of awesome. This way, it's not always just the mercenary supports me, but you got this Giga Chad melee mercenary. You're okay, how can I buff him? I don't know. If I'm a druid, I could give him Earthen Bulwark or something. I can make him slap. In D2, you can find a mercenary that'll dumpster a declone in 2 seconds. You could do it. Head Strikers, the 4015 Jewels. And by the way, I'd like to talk about Jewels today if we can. But do you like the idea of a merc that you can play with that's super strong? And should mercs get like uniques? I think so. Legendaries? I think so. Like, what kind of do we gear them up? Do you like the approach of strong merc or strong player supporting either one? What do you think?
I personally prefer strong player. Like, I definitely did the Diablo 3 hide behind a wall while Tyrael kills everything farm for a little bit. That wasn't all that great. I mean,
Anna, what do you like?
Anna?
I think prefer the idea of the strong player. Basically, actually, like if you have the strong mercenary, and in general, if you will be able to fully gear the mercenary, so pretty much you're getting like the other character that can run around with you. Super, super cool. But like, you know, from the idea, I want to feel myself powerful. I don't want this Emilio running around and being more OP than me, kinda. But I definitely want to gear it. That's what for what I'm saying is that we need to be able to gear it, and we need to have the freedom of like a lot of freedom there. What you're building, how you're putting, what you're putting on your mercenary. But by the way, no, Diablo 2, Emilio was absolutely great because even though we were able to put there some items, not all. There were some limitations. There was some they had their own special skills. They were not like just a copy, just a copy of your character. They were super special. And yeah, I'm super waiting for the mercenaries in the game.
I hear what you're saying, but I think it would be cool if the player can make that choice, right? Like, and this was like the way in Diablo 2 more, right? You could choose your mercenary to support you, like, well, it's not dealing any significant damage, but you can also choose to play a build that is like at least like half of its damage is revolving around the mercenary, and then like buffing him or helping you, you know, like in Diablo 2, like killing immunity monsters and stuff like this. So I feel like in Diablo 3 you didn't have this choice, right? Your mercenary was kind of support only, like it only supported your character. And even if people tried to make it deal any damage in the end game, any significant damage, it always tremendously failed. So I think it would be a cool like middle ground to have both options, right? I mean, you can, if you don't like your mercenary killing stuff, then well, make it more support. But if you want to, you know, have a mercenary or a pet that's killing stuff, well, then you can spec into this on the mercenary. And I think like the player's choice there is important, that you can choose either or.
Yeah,
I can already see those videos. My mercenary killed Uber Lilith. Here we
Uber
go.
Lilith one shot, Emilio MVP again.
Yes.
Why not?
I can see it, Kabel.
I can see Don making a video saying, I used to hate Diablo 2 mercs, but in Diablo 4, they're awesome, and here's why, right? And Don's got this Eagle Spiritborn build. All it does is use Soar, and it also uses Vortex, and it pulls everything together for his merc, who bash cleaves down things for him. He's like, I'm just the vehicle, my merc does all the damage, and look how cool we are together, and they want to. And they're like high-fiving through the forest, clapping all the demons. Like, Don, you're making that video if that happens, dude. Let's go. I'll be the first guy to like it. Be sick. Yep.
I will pin your comment.
I did a similar video with the Season 3 construct, right? My pet one shot.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. And your pet used to kill you, yeah.
But the pet I didn't really like so much. Like, it's not like the kind of the same connection as like with a mercenary. And the pet had like very limited possibilities of like, you know, like first of all, you couldn't really like equip it. You could only like choose its skills. And I feel it was kind of like boring, and there could be like way more customizable. I don't know, but I think I read it somewhere. I'm not sure if it was speculation or something from Blizzard, that the mercenaries have skill trees. Like you can literally like choose multiple skill trees. I heard that somewhere,
but I will not like guarantee it. I think there was something about it, but
what if Seneschal constructs were just an introduction for AI for this minion system? Mercenary system early
100% that's what that was for.
Okay, then we have a big problem because in PvP, your merc used to kill you. Like your Seneschal construct would shoot the beam up and you'd lose. So cool start. Hope it's different now. Yeah, let's go, Emilio. What happened? Dead. Yeah.
You didn't pay him enough. What the heck?
Yeah, the 150 fee. Yeah.
Since they don't really care about the PvP, I really don't think that there will be like any testing, any like what the mercenary will be doing actually in the PvP zone. We will find this out. We will find out when it will go live. We'll go to the PvP zone and let's see how they fight.
Hopefully
I think the whole problem with the mercenary is literally going to revolve around, does it ever like sit in town because you're in a party? Because if it does sit in town, like I think you probably like will need to have it with you all the time. Otherwise, investing in it will feel bad, or it'll feel like the only way to play the game. Because right now, like if you're doing the like end game boss ladder farming, you're pretty much, if you're going to go kill Andario or Duriel, you're bringing 3 other people with you because you're getting like so much extra juice. But like if it's like, hey, I get quadruple the power if I have my mercenary with me, why would I ever bring anybody else? Or if it's like, hey, like it's way better to bring other people than to bring my mercenary, why would I even worry about my mercenary? And it would feel bad to invest in them if it's like, oh man, I just like got a perfect 3GA, perfect double temper for my mercenary's weapon, but he's sitting in town, sipping, coffee. Why did I bother farming for that? Especially if you're playing hardcore, it's just like, wow, like I died, my mercenary dies too, I guess, because he's not going to be around. So yeah.
I'll touch on that. So imagine real life where you're playing and your friend, I don't know,
Hey, could
Sarah
you define that
shows up.
word?
Yeah. Your friend, you have a friend. A friend logs in on Battle.net, okay? And you've geared up your merc. Your friend Sarah's like, hey, Don, want to team up for some Tormented Id? And you're like, nah, I'm about to go offline. But really, you're not doing it because you just want to play with your merc. Like, you'll probably just play with the person, right? Because you're a good person. You're not going to like make someone sit on the sideline, right? So I think you give up some of that power to connect with community. And I think a guy like you, Don, I think you connect with community every time. Tell me I'm wrong. Don't break my heart. Go ahead.
So there are definitely times where I would play with other people in that situation, but no. I am a content creator, and so my decision making process is very different than other people's. Like if I'm just like a lot of people like literally are like, I don't have any friends who play this game. I'm trying to find people to go do Herbadurial. I don't know anybody else in the game. I don't have anybody in my Battle.net. Like I hear this a lot in Twitch chat, and this is kind of like I think why people do gravitate to like content creator communities, because they are looking for people who are playing the game. But there are a lot of people out there that don't really even have the time to like, they have the time to play or the time to like hop on Twitch and like kind of like look for a community that they want to be a part of. And so they don't really have the time to do both. And so there'll be a lot of people out there who are just like, I'm just going to play for an hour or something like that. And when you do try to play with a community, there's kind of like an expectation of like how much time you're going to be able to play. Like you go join any Warcraft guild, like if they're going to raid at certain times, and if you're not online, there's might as well not even be in that particular community. And so like it's really difficult to like, you need to make sure to balance it for kind of both types of people. The people who do always want to play with other people, always are getting on the VC with the boys or the ladies, and or the people that literally just do not want to play with other people ever. And those are definitely two ends of the spectrum, and we hopefully the developers are thinking about both of those people.
Guys, step one would be somewhere like a big and easy button, cool menu, find a party, group here, I don't know, region, this activity, we do this. This is the first step. You don't have to, all the content in the game, I'm also like always saying, all the content in the game, it should be completable solo. And we had this in Lost Ark, it was in Diablo Immortal in the beginning, it was there were the days, guys, with Diablo Immortal, when particular activities in the game, particular dungeons are locked behind the amount of people. Like you need to bring 2, 3 players, 2, 3, 4 players to be able to access this dungeon or this boss. This is bad. This is annoying. This is making you like either you always need to find those parties, you need to find people, or you're just not playing it. You will just not play it. But if all the activities in the game are completable solo and you can play solo, but there is an easy interface and big shiny button that will invite you into the group play, that is a solution for people who would love to try, who would love to find someone. That would make way more sense.
I'm working on something.
Yeah. Guys, we kind of actually going here already for 1 hour and a half. But
I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
I would love to ask you one thing because we're super excited. We started this podcast with I asked you to rate, and we have a really, really high rating, except Barricade. We're going to go back here. We have for the new class, for the Spiritborn, and pretty much everyone with whom I talked, all the creators who played it, they're super excited. They had a lot of fun. The class is cool. What can we improve? What do you think? What can be better? What can be made? What can be done? Because actually during this podcast we said a lot. What can be added? What can be changed in the game? But what can be changed and what can be improved in the Spiritborn specifically?
So one topic that people in my community has brought up a lot. I mean, because we are mainly barbarians here, and barbarians is a mutant, and he has 6 hands. And apparently the Spiritborn only has one single weapon.
Yep.
So people are really concerned that you just don't have this freedom that you have on, for example, the rogue or the barb, or even to some degree, even a sorcerer has one more weapon, right? I mean, you can have like a one-hand and an offhand on a sword or something, or on a druid, or on a necro. But the Spiritborn,
two-handed. Yeah, they are all two-handed.
yeah.
Yep.
So just for like also everybody who's listening here, like there's 3 weapon types of the Spiritborn, and all 3 of them are two-handed. You have a staff,
Glaive.
basically quarter staff that has block chance. You have the glaive that has elite damage, and you have the polearm with vulnerable damage. But they are all two-handers. So right off the gate, you basically have, in some ways, 1 less aspect than most classes, and even like 3 less aspects options than a barb. And I mean, we were like asking about this in the interviews, and it seems like Blizzard is really aware of this kind of like problem, if you will. And they already like took a lot of precautions, and you can see it in the skills tree where you can like mix and match like all these different things. And we've also seen, I think it was the unique that you had in your that you had in some of your videos, Anna, where you had like the harmony helm, which is basically like a tempest roar for the Spiritborn, which like enables even more tags for the different skills. So but still, like, you know, like having like 1 or 2 like defining uniques that you kind of like have to wear like for the meta builds or something, I could definitely see people running into like this like freedom of choice problem, like where they don't really have too many choices, because I don't know, there's like 1 or 2 mandatory uniques, and well, then your weapon slots and all your offensive slots are already gone, and then what are you gonna do? So it's definitely a bit of a risky, I think, design choice to only have 1 weapon on the Spiritborn. It has a lot of people concerned, but I think they're aware of it, and I think they already designed it in a way that it's hopefully, fingers crossed, not going to be an issue.
Yeah.
I would totally, I would agree with all that. I would agree with that. What were you going to say, Barricade?
All it, and if you got points, I got points, but go ahead, whatever you think. I don't want to talk over you.
No. I'm just. I saw that 3 weapon times, but kind of in my head, I was not connecting it with the fact that, yeah, well, they all are two-handed, which means that you actually have 9 item slots. And it feels for me the devs are literally shooting, how you're saying it in English, shooting yourself in the leg with creating this. You have Barbarian with 4 weapons, Rogue with 3, all the others with 2, and you have the new class with one weapon. And guys, yeah, they're gonna be the aspects for the Spiritborn going to be OP to compensate it, because you have to do something since you have 1 less weapon slot. But anyway, generic aspects Spiritborn also will be able to use. How you gonna like balance this? The aspects that all the classes can use on the weapons, on everywhere, and how you like why we are here even? What is going on?
It's
Let's
definitely
just cut by 1 barbarian hand. I was always suggesting this. We could make an epic cinematic out of it.
Don't touch the barb.
We are cutting it. That's it. The guy gonna have 2 weapons. Amazing.
Yeah, but like one thing that wasn't in this, because I was like hovering everything when we got to play the first time, and so it's dexterity based, this new class, but it didn't have, either it wasn't in the build yet, or maybe it's not gonna have it, right? Like, because for season 5 they now revealed that the other classes, to compensate, are gonna get 1% multiplicative damage per 8 main stat, and Barb is staying at 10, which is like right now the same. So I mean, Spiritborn had, I checked it, it had 1% in 10 main stat. So do you think because it has like kind of one less slot, you're gonna maybe they're gonna make it 1% in 7 main stat, or just like leave it at 10? Because like I think at 10 it's gonna be too weak, but we'll see. I mean, the skills look pretty powerful. Maybe it just wasn't in the build yet or something, but there's a lot of speculation around this kind of stuff already as well.
I think that's the type of stuff that's 100% not going to be in the build yet, because this is something that's like modern D4,
Live
like
game.
that. Yeah, this was like months old build. So like this is probably before they even made the decision to do that in current.
But you know how the community is, like they always love to speculate this and that.
Oh
and they're just going wild.
From Rax's stream, Brent said that what we played was a month to 5 weeks old. So they already like, we're playing an older build, and we already knew that. They said that to us too. Part of the reason I give it a low score is unfortunately what we all got a chance. Like, I'm glad we got a chance to play, but the experience we got was gated at level 30. So a lot of the opinions we have is of a very low level version, and so my score will rise if the legendaries that we get and the uniques that we're exposed to at a higher level are so build defining that they solve some of the problems that the class has now. I don't necessarily think that we have to adjust the 1% per 10 points of main stat. Maybe that's just okay, because like Anacake suggested, I think the uniques that you get, like Harmony, I think it's I'm gonna say this the quarterstaff wrong, but that Sepazantec one, they're very overpowered. They're very, very strong, like extremely build defining. And so I think that's how the class makes it up, because of the lack of legendary aspects. And so when we see a higher Spiritborn, I bet you it's gonna slap. But like right now, I feel it's a little bit lackluster. Outside of the movement speed, the damage was there in some of the builds, but if the uniques that we don't see yet are really cool, as an example, we already know like the gorilla is stationary. You summon it, it sits there and protects you. But what if there's a unique that allows the gorilla to aid you and follow you along? Then all of a sudden, that's really cool. I can make a build at that, right? And so we know that the team's very creative, and they're trying to apply like that creativity in the gameplay. So where does the Jaguar go? Does it summon in and do a 360? Is there a unique that allows it to like again aid you in combat, so it roams with you? Like that'd be kind of cool. I would hope that they went that way, but that's a lot of development. And in a year, is that enough time? I don't know. But the reason I give it such a 7.5 out of 10 is because building towards that precipice of an ultimate skill and it sits 10 screens away doesn't feel good, because I move rapidly, you know? And so that was one of my pain points with the build, yeah.
I also just like took a quick glance at all of the offensive aspects for, I was going to say Jaguar, but it's Spiritborn. They kind of don't seem like on par with like some of the other aspects we have for other classes. Like a lot of them just are kind of like some of them are very, very powerful. Like the Stinger one, for example, gives you quite a bit of damage, but some of them are just not super big numbers. Like I did Theorycraft build. I don't really like. I was like, I don't know which aspect to put on here, and the one I ended up putting my two-handed weapon is the redirecting force, where you gain critical strike damage equal to like 190% of your block chance, which doubles when you block. But I'm like, that's really powerful, but that kind of like forces you to scale into block, and to like then not get critical strike damage other places. Otherwise, this aspect is weaker. This isn't like the normal like 30 or 40% damage multiplier that you see on most aspects for the classes. What are you going to say, Barricade?
Sorry, yeah. As you're talking about it, like, do we all here build do we already have a build? Do we all at least make one build for the Spiritborn that we like?
Like, I have a build that if it works the way I think it does, you're gonna have 100% uptime of 100% dodge, 100% block.
Yes.
I'm pretty much like, I need to talk to Leviathan to make sure that they didn't nerf this, because here, let's put it in the group chat. But it is literally like could probably do pit level 200, because I don't think you could die, and the whole thing basically works around this aspect, temporal incisions, which is a defensive aspect, which makes it so that casting Rushing Claw extends the duration of your active incarnate skills by 2 seconds. And your incarnate skills are things like Ravager, that gives you up to 84% damage whenever you hit stuff, and that's at rank 5. Toxic Skin then would poison for 84% damage every time you hit stuff. Armored Hide would make you unstoppable, and then Counterattack makes you have, when it's active, 100% dodge, and thanks to aspect of deflection, your Razor Wings, when they hit you, bounce back out, And so you just have nonstop razor wings just spamming out. Like you would literally be like, probably the problem with the build will be eventually you get to having so many razor wings on the screen that you wouldn't be able to actually rushing claw to anything to like reset your cooldown. So your problem would be not enough enemies. And rushing claw, you can just literally, as long as you're killing things to get ferocity or hitting a boss, you can continuously reset its cooldown. You can cast it infinitely. And so you could just sit there on any boss as long as they don't go immune, just have a nonstop uptime of all of these buffs, have 100% dodge, 100% block, tons of damage. I was like, this makes, the current Sork, like OP build look weak. So yeah, probably some balancing stuff that they're going to still need to work out.
Working as intended.
So with this craziness in mind, they already said they're not gonna have like a beta there. So
yeah,
this is gonna be in the live game when
beta.
when the expansion launches, probably. And I mean, they have like the internal testing, which pretty sure catches a lot of things, but it's not gonna catch all the bugs as we've seen in the past. So I'm a little worried that stuff is gonna go crazy because what we mentioned here earlier is that like people judge the Spiritborn now from just only this like level 30 perspective, right? So people say like, okay, and I felt it as well, the gorilla was kind of on the weak side of things. But then again, this is the level 30 experience where you're more like, speed focused. Like you don't really have like any enemies that tank a lot and stuff. And yeah, looking at some of the gorilla skills and especially some of the thorns scalers that we didn't even had in this build, like we didn't have these items, we didn't have the uniques. There's certainly so many possibilities, even like for I think pretty much all the builds to do some pretty crazy stuff in the end game. And people now say like, yeah, okay, the Centipede was the most broken, most OP in this version. But this is only for leveling. Like you will see in the end game, I think, for example, the Gorilla, if you would actually have all these Thorns multiplayers, is going to go completely crazy as well. And as far as I look at the skill tree and at the various like effects with items, it looks like you're going to have perma resources, everything full. You're going to like block every attack. You're going to like counter attack and there's certainly a lot of mechanics, and I can't wait here now for even the next days and weeks with like just like you have started here, or many others have started here, Don. Like it's just people cooking the builds, like with this like planners and these resources we have available now. Okay, we're still going to get the Paragon board, and some things might change, but we are just only 2.5 weeks away from this build. So I'm pretty sure like people we're gonna start cooking. We're gonna see some cool, crazy new builds, and then maybe in like 4 weeks at Gamescom, we actually gonna come prepared there, and we already know. Okay, let's double check this mechanic. Like, how did it actually work? Like, so we can solidify the builds even more and share them, and then have a great time when the expansion launches with the Spiritborn. Like maybe with some pre-done like crazy builds, and then we'll see.
So you're saying you can buy Gamescom tickets now to go show up. Rob will be there. You can meet and greet him.
I will be there. We talked about it earlier. Me and me will be there. More creators. I know like a lot of the Blizzard team is gonna be there, and I mean, I think everybody that goes to Gamescom. Okay, you have to maybe wait in line and stuff, but everybody that goes to Gamescom in Cologne, August, guys, end of August, you can actually play the Spiritborn if you have some patience. And we can test some more stuff.
I still want to go to that. Just hang again, have a good time, slap demons with the big old two-hander. That with you guys, that'd be a ton of fun.
Yeah. Man, I mean, now we came to the USA. And now it's time you come to Europe.
Yeah. The Euro trip.
Euro trip.
Yeah, hello.
By the way, I'm still on the US schedule.
Oh yeah.
I am.
Wow, really? Wow. Yeah.
I just got up like 6 hours ago.
Oh yes. There you go.
I got up about 10 minutes before the call, so I'm on like an Australian schedule almost.
There you go.
But to kind of take all the stuff you just shared with us there, I thought that we were going to get a beta for this. I am almost 100% certain that I heard Adam Fletcher say, yes, we're getting a beta before season 6.
Well, didn't Brent just do an interview with Drax and say no? He said, no, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure then, not yet.
That's more updated. But then also,
I think the betas were referring to future seasons. I think that's what Brent said as well. That for this, they don't want to spoil it, right? It's expansion, the new thing. They don't want to spoil this. But for future seasons, I think they said we're going to continue to have PTRs, and we're going to improve the PTRs as well.
But
Yeah,
damn,
they're all
that
saying
was
that.
such a good selling moment for the live game that they did the beta. They did 2 betas to sell it,
It
to
was.
hype the people. That's why I'm actually surprised. I think that would be
Yeah.
make
Like even just
people
the beta
play
would
till
play
level
to level
25. Come
25.
on.
So one of the things too that wow, I just actually totally lost my train of thought. Sorry.
Yeah, I just think there's just not enough time, right? I mean, like this is in 2.5 months, and there's a season before that, and then there's a mid-season patch, and then there's the Gamescom, and like I mean, the time is gonna fly already, even without a beta. And even if they have a beta, like, are they gonna have enough time to implement all the feedback that they're gonna get, right? So it's gonna be tough.
Yeah. I think if they do like internal testing, it should be randomized, just because it shouldn't be the same people that played it, in my opinion. Like, we've already had a shot at it. Let some new people get in there,
Yeah.
give them another build, because we need a diversified opinion set, not just Diablo partners getting in there. Anybody of any kind of like background of gaming, just give them a shot to make the best Diablo possible. Like, at
I
least
think the
make that
problem is
happen.
always with NDAs, like as far as I know, like in the sort of like early endgame beta that they had in D4, there was like a bunch of people invited, and
People were
not
streaming it.
everybody stayed true to the
Everybody's
NDA, as far as I remember.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of guys streaming it. I remember like seeing
Yeah,
like,
there was
the
people
stuff.
literally on Twitch
That's
streaming
so
streaming
bad,
the
man.
Diablo 4 beta. And then I mean, obviously, like they got banned eventually, but it took some hours, and stuff kept
Exactly,
leaking and
of
leaking and
course.
leaking.
But now that
I
you've
mean-
met the people making the game, right? Like, how much of a disservice are you doing them? You know, like when you do that move, like you owe it to
Yeah,
them.
but
with
like
that
people are not
passion
gonna
of giving
see it that way.
No,
I mean, I know like
but like,
we see it that way now.
yeah,
but, like,
yeah. I
You know,
know.
like
see people just do
like a
anyway.
random player on the internet is not gonna see it that way. And if you have like I don't know, like 10,000 people playing your beta, I mean, the chances is
I
high
know.
that at least a couple of them are gonna leak stuff.
Don't be that
yeah.
person. You're better than that. Come
Yeah,
on.
don't be
Yeah.
that person. But
Don't be that person.
I mean, the crazy thing is, so there was like a Throne and Liberty closed beta kind of recently, and people were apparently streaming that because I was talking to a guy who like does the bans for Amazon. And he was like going on their channel, be like, "We are going to permaban your Twitch account if you don't get off of this." And people were just eating the permaban for a game that's out in another region. You can just go play it in another region if you want. They were eating a permaban on their Twitch account. Like some partners even apparently ate some permabans. So absolutely crazy. But to go back to what you're talking about with Gorilla, Rob, I wasn't there for this, but I think it was Gazzy or Gazzy's mod that was talking about this. They apparently like cornered Joey P and were like pumping him for information a little bit. And he said there was a unique, I believe, ring that we didn't get access to that made Payback like the most powerful skill in the game. Where you're just like constantly resetting it, and you were getting Vigor back for how much damage you do. So you'd like punch get all your vigor
I
back,
found
get the
that ring.
cooldown back.
it was in the game. Wait, I'm
Yeah.
gonna post
The
it in a
Gorilla
second.
Centipede ring?
Wait,
'Cause I found
I'll
that.
post it.
I
1 second.
think I remember something.
Did you know?
I'll post it in the group chat in a second.
Better be a picture of a clown or something. You watch.
Yeah,
You watch.
No, I talked with Joey about this one as well.
Gorilla
Like,
Centipede ring.
Gorilla ring
Yeah.
of Gorillas, and I mean probably the
Mhm.
name is gonna get changed, right? But it's basically this ring, and this is like one of the reasons why I said you're gonna have infinite resources, because like you're gonna do thorns to every monster you hit with any gorilla skill, and you're gonna get 7 vigor per monster that you deal thorns damage to. So with this ring,
Yeah.
and
yeah. So I
like,
think gorilla like in
and-
the end game is gonna be nuts, and I think this is completely okay, right? Like having some builds that shine. Like Centipede now shines like in the leveling apparently, and then like in the end game it might be like some different builds. So I think that's pretty cool.
yeah, I would very much agree that it's okay to have different builds be powerful at different levels. How did you guys feel about the key passives? Because actually, I think the key passive system for the Spiritborn would take a point away from me right now. I did not like them.
Really? I like it. I got to build with I got to build mine with like the end game, even though it's level 30, and it's based off of basic skills because I've played Diablo 4 before, and basic skills always ramp up to be like insane. And so the idea is I'm using one of those key passives. Yeah, I'm using one of those key passives to always change the spirit that I'm attacking with. Like every basic skill is whatever it is plus Eagle, right? So if you use the Harmony Helmet, you're getting 100% increased damage, plus your secondary could be like whatever you want, Centipede, yada yada. So then you're at 150% base damage, plus Sepizontic Quarterstaff gives you 200% base damage. I'm gonna whatever the numbers. But ultimately, you do a shitload of damage with basics, and one of those key passive gives you a huge benefit of damage of 30% plus more, depending on what you do. So depending on the skill tree, like Eagle makes you fast, more fast equals crit. Jaguar is like the main basic skill you use. So every 5 seconds, it kind of plays like a Tal Rasha Sork. Every 5 seconds, You rotate through all the different kinds of basics, but you always land on Jaguar to get that thrash happening, and then you just like kick the living shit out of stuff single target. But thrash is something you can temper to make the AoE even bigger, and so you have a big like a bash cleave experience with good ST damage. So Sepizontic Harmony and all this stuff. So to speak to your question, it's nice, but it maybe doesn't feel good yet because we don't have the bigger picture of the Spiritborn. But it seems a variable. Like it's very how do I say? You can do it. It's a reactive, right? It's a very reactive set of skills.
Okay.
I like it. Plus one.
The Vital Strikes key passive, I feel like, is gonna piss people off because like it removes vulnerable from the target. So imagine like the world boss where they're intentionally making them more and more and more tanky. All of the freaking spirit boards are just like yoink vulnerable, yoink vulnerable, yoink vulnerable off of the boss to do a little bit more damage. And
That's super weird.
We asked
be
that
so
question
bad.
in the room. We said like,
Yeah,
is it
Gazzy was
all
asking
Vault
about it.
or just yours? And what did they tell us? It would have to be all, right?
I think it was just your vulnerable, but like they were there. I think this was a little bit iffy, like when this question was asked, like at least the way I understood it. But
Okay.
I mean, in general, I think I like the effects of some of those passives, like having like a positive and a negative effect. I think they focused a bit more on this, like you mentioned the vulnerable passive. The Vital Strikes, like you have double damage against vulnerable, which is an insane, crazy multiplier. But then you also have this like downside where you remove the vulnerable effect. So this gives you like something to solve, and I think that's really cool. Adaptive Stance. This one reminded me a little bit of the Walking Arsenal.
Yeah, it
Of the
does.
Barb, like. But I also think there's a lot of like versatility options there with the Harmony Helm that Anna that you found, and just like a bunch of different stuff there. So pretty cool. The Prodigy's tempo also like reduces cooldown, so I'm all for that, and also like increases like damage and cooldown with more skill ranks. And then the poison passive, like this like AoE poison explosions based on crit. I mean, it immediately reminded me of Gushing Wounds of Barb. Like for some reason, all these passives remind me of Barb. Like the vulnerable double damage with a downside is Unbridled Rage. The adaptive stance is Walking Arsenal. And the Nox is Gushing Wounds for poison. And then okay, you have one more. But like yeah, I mean the passives I would have liked to see one more actually. Like 4 key passives. I'd like to see like 5 or something, like some more
6
diversity.
Yeah.
Like 5 or 6 maybe, yeah. But,
Yep.
We'll see.
It makes sense. But yeah, guys, currently without seeing the Paragon, without seeing the new boards, without seeing like literally kind of anything, it's super hard to judge on those key passives how they're gonna eventually work out with like the full picture, how they're gonna what they're gonna like do with a full build that you have. That's why, yeah, we will see how it will work out in the end.
It would be very exciting because it feels like the game's kind of pushing us to have a duality of Spirit Guardians. It'd be cool because Pez mentioned what we have, Adam Fletcher, Pez Radar, mentioned this is the tip of the iceberg for uniques and legendaries, right? Do you guys think it'd be cool if they thought further enough ahead to go like, hey, you can summon 2 of your Spirit Guardians. You can have Jaguar and the Eagle show up and they have like their own unique animation because they really told us like we focused on the animations, right? It'd be really cool if with a year of development, you made that duality of spirits come in with certain attack combos. That'd be cool, right? Like at the end game, or a Paragon node that allows you to choose 2 ultimates. Then I could have my gorilla come in and the Eagle swoop and like, you know.
I like the more visual changes, the more the shinier it looks, the better it is, because people first think, oh my gosh, it's the one shot, it's the Uberlilet. Yeah, people are going for this, but people are going also for the visual effects. Like, oh my gosh, that's just right now, like destroying the whole screen. It's just shaking. It's just, I don't know, you're shooting the lightnings, you're shooting this and this and this. This is cool in those games. So the more visual combinations, some crazy, insane spirit into a spirit in a spirit you're creating, the better. The better it will be fully for this.
I agree, but there was also some people, and I see that point as well. This is like where this is kind of a downside, because if this amount of animation and flashiness and colorfulness, we're already getting at level 30. How is the end game going to look like when we literally have this like 60% cooldown item and we have the cooldown on the amulet, cooldown on the elm, and we're just going to be like spamming like all these like triple guardians with all the effects and all the tags like left and right? I mean, it's going to be cool and fun. But man, like, what if you're just in a party with like 3 Spiritborns? Like, what the hell are you going to see, you know? So you gotta be like a bit careful, I think.
You don't
Really
need to
hopefully
see,
whatever-
you need to feel. You just need to feel where the monsters are. And
How many
if you
effects,
cut
man?
on the
All
full
of them.
screen with your effects.
I really hope that with whatever group content they're bringing, they're going to also give us the option to scale down the visibility of your allies' abilities. Otherwise, like in Lost Ark, for example, like if you like pretty much you just always turn off all of the damaging effects of your allies and you just turn on just the positive effects. Otherwise, you can't see anything.
Diablo 2 has this problem. They introduced a rune word called Mosaic, and from a previous game where it's very beautiful, and like you see a frozen orb in a blizzard, now Mosaic comes in, and this assassin kicks, and then it blows up the screen. It's exactly what Spiritborn is. It's a plethora of just vibrant colors. It's a flashbang. It's a flashbang with legs. It's walking around on your screen the whole time. It's to Rob's point, and like all what the comments are being made, like it's a problem. So it's almost like when you play at the Necro, you want that translucence, right? You want to make sure you can see through it. Because that's what the art team was discussing in their stream on. I think he was talking to Rax as well. He mentioned like, hey, we care a lot about what you see in the game, so they're not ignorant to it. They care, right? They do care. Flashbang. Yeah. I got a question. I'll go.
Yeah.
The size of the content in the expansion, Nuant 2 being the size of Skosglen. From what we know, like maybe there's even more. I hope that there's more. What do you guys think?
I mean, there was like 2 sections that we couldn't even go into, right?
Yeah. It's a bit bigger.
Yes.
It's a bit bigger, but it's like this is 1+ act. This is normal for the expansions. All the Diablo games we were always you're getting 1 act. Yeah, it's bigger than 1 normal region, but it's not gonna be like, I don't know, the second whole map you are getting. Unfortunately, like I would love it to be bigger, but no, I get it. Why is it like this? By the way, guys, we're forgetting that maybe we're gonna go to Hell. Maybe we're gonna go. What did they say about the Spirit Realm? Unlikely we're gonna go there, but I still have like hopes that we're gonna go to Hell. We're always going to Hell to fight things.
They were
But I
very
think
cagey
there's
about the locations.
I think there's certainly going to be a lot of dungeons, like apart from what we've seen in the world map. Like we have the Travinkal, Durance of where we're going to fight like the council members probably. We're going to have the Durance of Hate, where we're probably going to, at least where you're in Diablo 2 fighting Mephisto, right? And then you have like all this like Suras, like the Kuras Suras and stuff. So, there's going to be a lot of like, I think, and long dungeons you're going to go into that we don't even get to see in the open world. And yeah, the 2 areas on the right side, they were not even unlocked in this part of in this version of the game that we played. But in my interview, like I asked them, and this is definitely going to be like all available. Like this entire region of the continent in R2 is going to be all available in the expansion.
When I watched the just real quick, when you watch the intro cinematic, Nyrel, right? She's the chick on the boat. She's the main, right? With the stone. I think she says something like, I have to get to Akarat's tomb. And when you listen to the lore, when they were telling us, Akarat's the dude that's touching the wall, and there's like this breach, and you see that light, like he's the one that found the light for us. I wonder if, like, to Anna's point, like, I bet you we're going there. I bet you the creative expanse of what this is like, take them into the spirit realm, because they have complete creative dominion over that. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not.
Guys, sorry, I was so watching this trailer and this whole idea. So you took the Mephisto Soulstone. That was always really bad idea to took a Soulstone of any prime evil, never ended good. And the best idea that you came up with, literally to go to the zone, to the Temple of Mephisto. That's the smartest thing that you could do in this situation. But if the plan is to bring it, apparently, maybe, I don't know, but if the plan is to bring it to the Akarat's tomb, to open again the spirit realm and just throw the stone there and like, now you deal with this. Maybe
what do we know?
Finally work out. I don't know.
We know that they mentioned the spirits and angels, the demons and angels don't know about the spirit realm, but we know that these guys, the primevals, like to be in soulstones. So it's not too far of a fetch to assume, like, hey, now that we know this guy exists, let's implement demons in that new realm. Huzzah! Expansion number 3, Diablo's dreamland, right? And there's no like rainbows and stuff, but away we go, yeah.
Or this could be a way for them to like change the narrative a little bit, because the narrative is pretty much always like hell always kind of comes back and always wins. And like, if you put them in a soul stone, it's like super temporary. And this time it's apparently like one day basically before they start breaking out of it. But like, what if putting them in the spirit realm gives the spirit guardians like power to actually lock them in? Because the problem is
Maybe.
always it's a human being that gets corrupted, but the spirit guardians are creations of people. They're not actually like a real thing. They're like a tulpa, basically. Or like, what do people think that the Jaguar is all about? That empowers the Jaguar avatar to like do its thing. And so it can't become corrupted because it doesn't have its own sense of self. And so I could see them like giving him basically over to the spirit guardians because they're incorruptible beings because the like source of their self. Yeah, yeah. What am I talking about? I could see that being cool.
Yeah.
Rob is
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
whatever law you people are coming
Yeah,
up
I'm not.
with, I'm okay.
Exactly. Like,
Well, Rob,
What
think
kind of
about this, because
aspects
Rob,
can I
I'm
get from
like,
this?
skip. Skip.
you like paladins. So imagine if the paladin that's been gone forever finally has a reason to come back because of that, right? This guy comes out of the shadow all
They're
light.
gonna
and
make it
refreaked out.
anyways. I mean,
I know, but like,
Yeah.
how do they bring it
You
in?
gotta
Like,
give the
have
people
to.
what they want, right? The community
Yeah.
clearly wants Paladin. It's like no-brainer decision to make Paladin. It's gonna create a lot of hype, and you know, like I always give this example when people are like not buying it, like with the Renown as well. Like, you know, they were really, really firm on their stance of like, you gotta do the Renown like every season. You gotta do it every season. When the game came out, right? And then like people just complained, but no, we don't want it. No, we don't want it. And like, what did they do at some point? They listen. I mean, the customer is always king, right? Like, they want to sell their game, and there's a lot of competitors. So, I mean, it's good at least to some degree listening to you know, the community. They're not always right, but you know, like in this kind of it's so overwhelmingly right. People are split on other issues, but on the Renown, man, it was overwhelmingly like, we don't want to do this like every season. Please change it, and they did. And yeah, there's like multiple things here. I think like most people in the community also kind of like, you know, want the loot filter. Like, I mean, at least the option, right? So I'm hoping that long term they're gonna like, you know, change their stance. It's the same for the auction house. People like, I mean, right now we have the like trading where we need like third party websites. It's like an entirely like complicated process. Like, you gotta add people to your friend list to be able to trade with them. 25 years ago, when Diablo 2 launched, we had a better system. We could literally make game name and password, and you can just join, or you make a game, public game, offer Shaco, a Need is Rune, or something like that. And it was like better than what we have now, 25 years later. And Path of Exile just announced an auction house to their base game. But yet,
Not even
Diablo
Path of
4
Exile 2.
still keeps firm on this. Like, we don't want to do an auction house. We have no plans right now. Like, what did Brett say? Like, we still have, like, scars from Diablo
From
3's
Diablo
auction
3,
house.
yeah, that's what he said.
And, like, don't get us wrong. Like, nobody, I think, the majority of the community, like, does not want a real money auction house. We just want a place to trade, like a safe place, a convenient place. And the trade chat in the game is not freaking cutting it.
Well, like it did take PoE 11 years basically to get any sort of auction house, and it's still just going to be commodities. But like, I could
Yeah.
see them totally rolling them out. There's a lot. I think there's a lot of like work and kind of like database issues with storing items in there that are not like all of the same, and like searching through all of that stuff, and like there's a lot of UI UX stuff that you'd have to do with that. And I feel like that would be something they didn't want to start working on until they like did Loot Reborn, because it's like, how are we going to be changing loot? Why should I like task a couple hundred man hours to like creating this auction house when you guys are going to change everything anyways? Let's first fix the loot, and then we can start working on the auction house. If I was like a project manager, I'd be like, no. You guys finish your fixing the loot whole thing before we actually start like figuring out how we're going to put this in databases, and people will be able to scour through all this stuff. So I do believe that is coming, but
they keep saying they don't have plans for it. They keep saying this.
But
Like, they could be like as vague as they are on Armory, like, or like, I mean, maybe, you know, but they keep saying it like we're not working on this, basically.
Yes.
But they're working on the Armory, thank God, but like not on this.
Guys, I think it was in Rak's interview about the Paladin, because Rax asked like, why, when is the Paladin is coming, something like this, and the answer was like, maybe at some point, if the community really want, we'll listen to the community. Guys, basically, since if the community really want, if we keep whining about it, we're gonna get it eventually because they
That's my point.
listen. Just the question is when we're gonna get it.
Yeah, they definitely do listen to feedback. It's really obvious. Like you like the
The smart thing to
PTR.
do from a like economic perspective. I mean,
Oh,
at
yeah.
some point, like with a lot of competition in the market, like they gotta listen to the customers. I mean, that's how it goes. If they don't, it's not gonna be financially successful for them.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys have played games where PTR just pretty much just a marketing vehicle for them to like show off their game ahead of time. Their PTRs are very obviously like, we want you guys to find issues and help give us feedback,
Guys,
and they make changes.
sorry, but by the way, like I just today had a thought. We really wanted a PTR in Diablo 4. We got one before the season 4. It was amazing, the blast, all the positive feedback. Everyone is super happy. Great. We have now the PTR for season 5, and the comments are bad. And there are a bunch of videos that PTR sucks, season 5 sucks. People are immediately putting it like this, that season 5 will be bad because PTR bad. It's just a question. It's just a question from me. Isn't it like that's what kind of why the way we're explaining? We don't want to spoil things. We don't want to introduce the PTR. We don't want to spoil things. And right now, PTR for season 5 kind of did a bad job for them in terms of marketing, in terms of fixing the game. I get it, but in terms of marketing, right now, just today in my chat, someone writes that, well, I tried the PTR. PTR sucks. I'm skipping season 5 till the expansion. And I'm pretty sure there is a lot of people like this who even like just heard the comments that the PTR sucks for season 5 and not gonna play now season 5. What do you think?
Well, there's
I'll
also
go.
not been. Oh, sorry, go Barry. Go.
I'll try to be as succinct as I can be. The PTR experience should not reflect or should not dictate to you what the season 5 experience is going to be. Blizzard did a very lackluster job rolling out the PTR, and without all of the tools that we needed to try this new experience, we got left with a lackluster vision of what the whole thing is going to be. And we saw some of the PTR updates; they seem promising, but I'm not equating A to B. A being the PTR to B being the season. B should be much more fulfilling, enriching, fun. The PTR was limited, unfortunate, and felt rushed, and I think that should be a great standard to do. Obviously never hit again, make the PTR experience better to reflect a better season coming in, and go ahead.
Yeah, I just kind of agree with that. I feel like what we were saying before, like I feel like every season mechanic should feel like, oh my gosh, you need to hop in and play this, otherwise you're missing out. And Infernal Hordes was the opposite of that. It was just like there was no loot, there was no power. Like when I play a rogue, like I expect there to be options that like make my character more and more powerful. It kind of felt like I was making myself weaker and weaker in the fight. And so yeah. Also, there's been no official communication about all of the changes. Like we had that roundtable where we got a whole bunch of info, and they thankfully allowed us to share that. And so, like, I know Rob put out a document. I put out a document with all of the changes that we like could remember and like write down. But we still haven't like because of the timing of the Spiritborn reveal, they can't be like at the same time. Oh yeah. Also, by the way, here's all the changes for season 5, and like muddy the waters of their marketing. And so hopefully we're going to get some sort of campfire like in a week or two where they're going to talk about all the changes. And I think a lot of people are going to be really excited because the big complaint I just kept getting during the PTR streams, and it was like making it like painful because I'm playing Sork. All of the Sorks coming in my chat being like, I'm quitting this game. It's Barb 4. It's not Diablo 4. It's another season of Barb being OP. And like, every other minute a new Sork coming in telling me about how upset they are. And now it's like, yo, Sork's probably getting like at least an 80% damage buff on like most of their builds. So like we're like Barb Jr. at least next season. So
yeah. I mean, I totally agree. The PTR, but there's no reason to sugarcoat it. It was shit. Like there was many problems, and I think it would have also been like not super hard to make it a way better experience. I think this is not gonna like be like a month of development. I think this like actually it would be like some pretty easy fixes. I think they're giving us access to the codex, giving us access to like all the new items, and just like making it easy to test. Like we literally had to grind on the PTR to even test, and I've met many people that wanted to test the new items, just have fun with it and stuff, and just see how it is. And they couldn't. They spent like multiple days not getting what they needed.
Freaking bots.
Yeah.
We had
I
people
never got
not
those boots.
masterworking new uniques just to trade them around to test.
Yeah.
You couldn't masterwork
exactly.
your
Like
stuff
how
just so I could get it. Like, what is
Yeah.
that? Like, so yes, we're not going to sugarcoat it. It was shit. It's got to be better than shit. We deserve better than shit. A little bit more thought going forward, and everybody wins, and the game is better for it. Yeah.
So my point being, like, basically, like, the way this PTR was, I think it definitely, in some communities, in our, like, bubbles, on the Twitch bubble or whatever you want to call it, it definitely didn't kill the hype, but it certainly, like, impacted it negatively. Like, people are not looking that much forward to Season 5, when you're directly comparing it to the Season 4 PTR, which was, like, it just felt a lot better because there was just so much new stuff, and it felt a lot more polished than the Season 5 PTR. I think it was just like a too early version or something, especially like looking at the Infernal Hordes. I mean, I think this is like the most gripe that people had with it. I mean, like, they couldn't access it even, like the new stuff, and then once you did it, there were some obvious bugs with, like, you just press Town Portal and the scroll disappears. Like, it's obvious that they haven't like played this for 10 hours or something. I mean, like, this is like a thing that you notice in like a couple of minutes of playing this. So there's been like not really like much testing before this is shipped out to the public, I feel, or at least not on these things. And it definitely showed. And for some people, like, it definitely killed the hype a little bit. And then now hearing about like further like nerfs and stuff that are coming, even though they didn't really want to nerf and they rather wanted to buff the other classes, like they mentioned this like rule of cool, where they said like we don't want to really nerf the barb, we want to bring the other classes and elevate everybody. And I think they really did a good job with like the rework of like the main stat and the damage scaling and stuff. But then on top of this, like nerfing like all the key passives as well by like 80% is like kind of crazy. And I think that's why a lot of people are just like not really, that looking forward to. I hear a lot of people say, I mean, I don't necessarily agree, but like I'm still going to have a lot of fun in Season 5, and I think we're going to still have a lot of fun. But a lot of people say the best thing about Season 5 is that it's short. And that kind of is not the sentiment that you want, right?
Wow. Brutal.
I mean, I totally agree that there's some very clear pain points where it's like, this didn't get tested. Because if you made a Sork, boosted them to 100, guess what? You would have an offhand, but no main hand weapon. And you only have one staff in your inventory, and you had a whole bunch of offhands, but no wand, no dagger, nothing. And so they fixed this, actually, but like, I guess nobody made a Sork and boosted them to 100 because you literally don't have any gear.
Yeah.
Weird.
Very weird.
Weird. Yeah.
I just like, they did give us like one unique per class when you boosted a character, and I just wish that there would just be all of the new uniques, or they just need to add like a Dejank meme or whatever his name is from D3. We just buy everything. Like, if it's a beta test, I don't want to be limited on some stuff. I do understand that 100%. They wanted to test the drop rate, and like the Infernal Horde compasses, I kind of felt like it was a good thing to see how the drop rate was because it was really bad. And if that's how they went live into the game, it would have been like dead season immediately. I'm thankful that they gave us the time so that we're just not going to take 2 weeks like some other ARPGs for the seasonal mechanic to get adjusted. We already are getting adjustments before it comes out, but yeah, it could be better.
I mean, the good thing is there's still some time, right? We still have like a couple of weeks until the season starts. I think they're definitely like listening to this, and there is a lot of cool things that we haven't seen, such as like, we've seen 18 uniques, but there's literally a rework coming to every single unique. And I also understood, like, I don't know like how you took this, like everybody here, but like for me, it was like, okay, the Infernal Hordes is coming to the base game. But I feel like they kind of hinted that there's going to be like more stuff like that is going to be like, more like season theme based. Like the season theme is like Back to Hell or something. But I'm pretty sure, and we've seen this with like the Iron Wolves and stuff coming in season 4. There was much more to it than Loot Reborn, right? So I think there is going to be this hype that we are not seeing right now because of this PTR. And this is still hopefully coming, and changes are still coming to the uniques, and they might also reconsider some of the stuff that they did.
We believe.
I mean, some of the uniques are really monstrous. Like the two-hander weapons have like double the main stat, sometimes triple the main stat of what you get right now. So like Barbarian, although it's getting nerfs in some ways, can still hold more uniques than anybody else, and so having more stat is more damage, so it's still a buff.
Kind of like sticker shock, right? Like we know, I'll say it, we don't know what we don't know. We know some of the picture, but we don't have the patch notes. So when the Barb Nation is getting its legs cut off, it's like that doesn't feel good. But what we don't know is all the uniques, like you just mentioned, Don. Like maybe they're better. Maybe the legendary aspects have been tuned in a way that it's not entirely feeling so bad. Once we see the patch notes, then we can actually react in it in like an appropriate way. But the sticker shock is like, damn, what happened to my builds? Like I think Blue Rose is going to be unreal for Sork. I think there's many builds that want to use it. It's interesting to try to find out like that puzzle, solving that. But yeah, season 5 could be a lot of fun. Should be a lot of fun. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with it. But you're totally right. The PTR experience kind of.
I want to see like Hellhammer. I want to see Hellhammer.
I want to see the cow level, man. Give me the cow level. Every time they ask, there's no cow level. Give us the cow level, man. Come on, give me the Cow Kings, whatever. Come on.
Yeah, we should let chat know that we like. I asked about the cow level, and Ruben was just like, "Huh? What? What?"
There's no such a thing.
Do the same PR training where they were trained. Literally, they were.
Yeah,
they were good.
Each time you are asked about the cow level, you are saying this because they say it like they all are saying this. All.
Hey, if we get the cow level in the expansion, I'm down. Like, you guys want to run a cow level map? I'll do it right
Heck
now.
yeah.
Okay, my mats, we'll go. I'll get the stamina potion. I'll get the piece of wood, the Herodric cube, piece of metal, the tome, and we'll fly. We'll do it together. Hell yeah.
So like
We'll
you
all
talk
lose
about
the cows.
community stuff, like in D3, that was one of the things that I really did enjoy doing in group. I didn't really enjoy the super endgame GR grinding, but I'd always be like, all right, I got a ring for the goblins. I've got a Bardache. Who wants in this thing? Let's go. Because like sharing loot like that, where it was kind of like low stakes, you didn't necessarily like need to like really min max. You could just pull everybody in and have fun. That's the type of group content that I think is really good that everybody can kind of engage with without there being like any sort of like pressure on.
That's what that raid's supposed to be, I bet you. That's supposed to be that thing. It's that fun thing you can opt into. It's not going to give you the best gear in the game, but it's a collaborative thing that people are going to probably want to queue up for. I don't know how we're going to queue up, but I bet you that's what that incursion is to that experience. Is that good?
So did you guys find anything about the raid in the thing?
Oh, there's data mine stuff.
I think there was something in the materials section. There was like some Kasra. In the data mine, there was like a mention of a Kasra raid. And in this client that we played, there was like, if you scroll all the way down, there was like some materials, like Kasra horn or something that you need to do stuff and like these kind of things. So there was definitely some mentions, and this just confirms the data mine even more, I feel.
Yeah, it definitely was in there.
Guys.
And so I'm like, if there's a material for it, it's probably going to be good, right?
That's for the raid. Yep.
Guys,
Alleged.
What were you going to say, Anna?
we are going for more than 2 hours. 2 hours 20.
And it feels like it's been 10 minutes.
I would love to let you, like, actually I was super not I had no idea that we're gonna sit here for so long. I just don't want to torture you guys. Like,
it's not good. I'm probably gonna eat in a bit, but
you're free. Yeah.
Like talking and sharing ideas. I think we all met up. We all like talking. We all want to see where we're at. This is just an organic thing. But if you guys have to cut, we cut. It's all good, right? I have questions from the chat here that I'd pose to you guys if you want to go that way. Unless Anna, you got other questions you want to ask us?
Let's go one. Let's go like one final thing. And yes, we're gonna be wrapping it because we are going here for like quite some time already.
Cool. What do you got?
Better drop it. No, drop it, guys. I will go. Everyone can add something, either drop a question or like add some final thought, and we're gonna finish it like this.
Okay. This will be from my side here. So it's a two-parter. Can I go two? I'm gonna go two. If it's just a quick one. So is leveling too fast? Yes or no? And the second one, should it be so easy to get an uber unique for every player, or do you think it should be more of a chase experience? What are your thoughts?
Well, so I think with the addition that they hinted at, that you're gonna have like uncapped level scaling, like you can basically go as high or fight as difficult monsters as you want to and not be penalized. I think that's a cool change. I really like it. But I also see, I mean, I like to play in group, right? Like I I really like it like from a group play perspective because you're like pretty powerful. I'll see like maybe for solo players it also helps, but it's gonna like increase the gap between group and solo even more. So we'll see where that's gonna land. But yeah, in general, I feel the leveling experience is way too fast at the moment. Like I think we're gonna see. Last season, it took us like less than 10 hours, like the entire thing. And you see all the speed runs, like this is all not valid because they're all doing like you just have all the aspects ready and they have all the gear like pre-crafted and stuff. You see like these 2 hour times, like it's completely unrealistic. This is never gonna happen when the actual season launches. It's always gonna be like I think 10 hours or something will be like at least with the current meta. And we'll see. I mean, maybe we're gonna get it down to like 6, 7, 8 hours. Like that could be a possibility. And I think that's way too fast because that's like a big part of the game. I feel that's just like boom, crazy rush. And people are doing like the capstone in World War II at like level 10 or something with the temples. So I really feel like that a lot of there needs to be like either some rebalancing or there needs to be some like changes to some things because it's like extremely fast. And then there is like basically nothing after World Tier 4, right? You enter World Tier 4 at like level 60 these days or something. And then you still have like so much power to be gained from level 60 all the way to 100. And then in 100 you're still in World Tier 4 and you're just one-shotting everything, nothing can touch you. So there's like definitely a kind of a misbalance. On the uber unique part, I feel it's okay. I mean, it is still relatively rare if you consider that you have to farm the materials and everything as well. And now you even have to get greater affixes. So especially like from a casual perspective, I mean, let them have their shakos, let them have their Turel's mice that they have their grandfathers. I think it's okay. And I'm really, really happy that we can finally reset the Uber bosses instantly.
Yeah.
It's going to be such a massive quality of life.
Huge. So let me like work backwards. So in terms of mythic uniques, like with the drop rate, I do like the fact that it's relatively easy for you to get the one you want because on launch, it was like impossible. Like I'm never going to drop one. I've dropped one mirror like in Path of Exile over like 10,000 hours played. But like, I was like, I'm at that rate. Like I would have to play this game for like forever to even drop like one, Uber unique at the time and let alone
multiple
the one that
lifetimes.
I wanted. Yeah. Multiple and so
lifetimes.
And like one of the guys in my community had dropped like I think the world's first Doombringer, and I didn't even realize it. And like that was like my number one clip from Diablo 4, and this guy was getting harassed, like nonstop DMs from people, nonstop friend requests asking him where he found it. And so like I think that was definitely a bad thing, but I kind of dislike how powerful the mythic uniques are. But I do like the fact that they're like, okay, so if a unique speaks to a specific type of build, it needs to be on par or better than a mythic unique. Because if it's like, hey, you're using Tempest Roar, but is that better than a Harlequin Crest for your build? No, then what's the point of that unique? And so hats especially need to be like on par with Harlequin or better at this point. So I think like mythics hopefully take a little bit more of a backseat. I don't mind the fact that it's kind of easy to get them and you can get the one that you want. So like right now we're getting 3 different sparks and people like were really loving just making new character and grinding out that rep and having like a systematic way to get a good unique. I think that's kind of good. Now in terms of leveling, I think that the whole world tier system right now is just stupid. I really dislike it. For the longest time, World Tier 2 like didn't make any sense. There was no real benefit to doing it. I made a whole video about it where it was like World Tier 2 was the noob trap because it was giving you like no XP. It was just really, really bad, especially on launch until this last season. Now World Tier 2 is worth it. You probably always want to level in World Tier 2. That's because we're so powerful now. And World Tier 3, I think, is like a joke. I think World Tier 3, World Tier 4 creates this thing where you have sacred and ancestral gear, but that doesn't make any sense. Like to me, like there's no reason to have sacred gear. There's no reason to have ancestral gear. Item power is the only thing that matters. It could be a normal 925 piece of gear, and it's literally because it's based off the item power, not the ancestral, except for tempering. There's no difference between them, and that's like why I think for what season was we were using like it was season 1 we had like 925 sacreds dropping off of Varshan. And so everybody was just farming that and getting that, and just like tons of gear that way, just like right off the gate. And so I think that they do kind of need to rework this. In terms of leveling being too fast, I think leveling is actually in a really good spot, but that's mostly because with the way scaling works in this game, your level matters a lot, especially for your defenses, or at least it used to for armor. I guess they kind of dialed this back a little bit, but that level difference is like a big deal in terms of how much stuff does damage. I think that that's kind of a bad system if you're going to make it hard to level. And so by having this like system where the level of the enemy matters a lot, it forces you pretty much to allow players to get to 100 easy, because if it's like PoE where it's like going to 100 is like a big process, or you have to like do a particular type of content or hire people to do a particular content while you stand there twiddling your thumbs watching them run around the screen, then being a level 100 character is going to always be a lot more powerful and feel bad. And so they either kind of need to like tweak one or the other. I personally don't mind hitting level 100 and having all of the kind of the content in the end game. I don't necessarily get a ton of joy from going from a level 99 to a 100 character in PoE. Typically when I get to 100, I'm like, I'm so sick of this character, time to reroll, and I don't play my level 100 character. Or I'm like, oh, I'm going to do boss service on this character. I'm going to hit 100, and then I can just die as much as I want now. So it doesn't like, it's not really like that good feel. And I think that hitting 100 in Diablo 4 kind of does feel good, because you can kind of hit like pretty quickly and you're like, all right, now I'm at max power. I have all of my Paragon stuff. Now the grind really begins, and it's on gear. And I like ARPGs that are focused on your gear and that gear chase, because just like watching the XP bar go up and then, oh, I died and it went back isn't like, I don't know, just doesn't really feel super great. It does feel a little good, but it's not a game I really want to like grind on forever.
Actually, the leveling speed is, I personally think, really, really good right now, because this is the season when a lot of people who were always having, like, I don't know, 1 character, 2 characters right now coming is, this is the first time I leveled 5-6 characters to 100 and I'm already played for 3-4 weeks and it's so cool. And for a lot of people, this kind of process, leveling till 100, this is the game. And that's what's happening after the level 100. It's what I reached level 100, and this gave the opportunity to people to actually try multiple classes and to level them all and to see. And leveling speed is cool, but now we're gonna have uncapped XP per monster level, and now the boosting will be again the thing, the ultimate thing, and like this is gonna change. I don't know why like giving us even more XP right now. Right now it's like so good. Right now it's in such a sweet spot, because I don't know, like for me personally, even though I see what's happening after level 100 and how you push the pit and how you do the and how you go deeper into the pit and doing this, but anyway, leveling is actually nice. It's really, really cool part of the game. Really bad for speedrunners, guys. You have only 8 hours there, like 7-8 hours. So sad, but actually, that's nice. We're in a nice spot right now. We're in a cool spot. And about the Uber Uniques, guys, I am the person who this is really a meme. I did like, okay, today gonna be the day I'm gonna get the Uber. I'm gonna get the Uber. Today will be the day, 100%. Come on, we have the mats. We're gonna do tormented bosses. We're gonna do only tormented bosses. 2 hours later, every single person in my team getting an Uber, getting multiple Ubers. I am there sitting. We did only tormented bosses 2 hours straight.
Did you log on the streamer server?
Yeah. You did connect your Twitch and your D4 account, right?
Yeah, I think you need to connect them. You're gonna get one immediately.
Actually, what I'm
First
hearing
kill
is,
this season, instant Turiel's might.
It's the
What I'm
pinned
hearing
message in
is-
the partnership Discord. Just click it to install
Yeah,
it.
you gotta
You should do
what I'm
that.
hearing, we should invite Anna to our group so that we can leech all of her mythic
Yeah.
unique
This
cards.
was
Yeah.
so because for real, guys,
Second.
people were getting double. They were getting they were getting Ubers all the way, like, but not me.
Did you pet the dog or the kid?
Your dog petting video.
It always works.
It doesn't work.
I haven't done it once in a
But you
while.
didn't pet enough then. It works.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe it's because I have a cat instead of a dog, you know.
Ah, you
Is-
can
is
see
the-
cat.
Make the cat. The cat is also like doing
The
the
cat
move.
needs to be on the floor when he dies. It works.
Yeah. there is a strategy. But anyway, guys, yeah, even though I kind of feel like, again, the majority of the Diablo player base, it's like, it's really, really casual players. And again, I had so many people coming to my chat this season and being like, Anna, this is the first time since the release of this game, I finally got an Uber. And I'm like, and I didn't.
And I didn't.
Oh,
No, I
Well,
got
one time.
everything. But anyway, like, season 4, we're in a good spot. We're in a really, really good spot. It's super hard to go from here. It's really, really easy to ruin it right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
For
think
sure.
that like one of the things I noticed with this season is I stopped making decisions about like what gives me the most XP. Where I'm like at least because once you level so quickly that you don't get in this like I need to go kill this pack over here because that's an elite because I need more XP. How do I get more XP? I never really got into that like mental state this season, and it like just allowed me to have more fun. Like what do I want to do right now that's going to be enjoyable as opposed to what's going to give me the most XP? And that made season 4 just a lot more chill and a lot more fun in general for me. I don't know if that's the same thing for you guys.
No, I was mainly hunting the pit highest clears at the beginning, but after that, like there's no pit leaderboard and stuff, so it was like kind of we can like chill and do all kinds of stuff. I mean, I also enjoyed that a lot. I think this season I had one of the like best times doing like a variety of activities. Right, you had like all the like tormented bosses. I really like what they did with like just having like new challenging bosses to fight. You have like the pits that you can enjoy, the open world content. I had a good time, definitely.
Yeah, they definitely shifted like the gameplay from all of it being hitting level 100 to now everything's post level 100.
Yeah, I really like they need even more endgame, and I mean the Infernal Hordes. So yeah, some people didn't like it. I didn't like it too much either, but I think they're doing a lot of improvements to it, and I think it's going to be a core part of the game that is also rewarding, and by the looks of it, a nice way of target farming great half-X items.
I hope so.
Hopefully,
So yeah, like there's a lot of changes coming to it, and it's a step in the right direction to giving us more end game activities. But let's see how season 5 will be.
Well, I was
Cautiously optimistic.
Well, Rob and Barricade, you guys cleared tier 8, right? Of the thing, right?
Yes, sir.
45 minutes it took, man.
Hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, but that was 45 minutes for me, and then we got 3 items. Thanks for nothing.
But that was like the equivalent of like a pit 200, right? That's what they said. Like to me, that's insane. It was
really pit 200. The bosses have quadrillion health. You're gonna fight them for 1 year if you're playing a sword.
But I believe that they said that the intention for tier 8 was it to make it. Yeah, if you're Sork, you're never gonna complete it. The server's going to. But like I thought they said that the tier 8 was gonna be about the same difficulty as a 200. Maybe not like in terms of the HP numbers, but yeah.
I mean, the DPS is the same anyways. You do pit 200 or you do pit 100, they do the same damage. It's just about how much can they tank. So they can tank a lot.
When the bosses changed.
Yeah, when we tested it, the Infernal Horde bosses had the same pit problem, which is like the bosses were overtuned. So
yeah,
it was an hour and 21 minutes of the hour and 45-minute run, killing 3 guys because the boss H was so this barb I clear up pit 140 with.
You didn't have a flame up with you by any chance?
No, I didn't. Because I played solo. I wanted to solo. I just wanted to see what it would be like. And so I got the Ardent Faith gloves, so I could basically never get one shot. And then I had the Melted Heart of Tom Selleck because the mustache is too strong. So I put this unkillable build on top of the Bleed Bash. It took me an hour and 21 minutes, but I was never going to die. And so we all know now that's fixed, right? But we also know they're increasing the cap to wave tier 10, right? So 8, 9, and 10. So even if we face this big bad boss HP problem, what's a 10 look like compared to the thing Rob went through, I went through? It's still probably going to be easier than that. So this endgame thing is going to be kind of, in my opinion, trivial because with great gear, you're going to farm it like easy. So I think, but cautiously optimistic is a great way of saying that. Yeah. Yeah.
We'll see. I'm definitely looking forward to the build diversity that all these new and reworked uniques are going to create. Like that's one thing. And I mean, I don't really mind which class it's going to be. It's going to be amazing for all the classes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely true.
I think there's been like a lot of uniques that nobody ever uses, like Hellhammer.
Yeah.
And if that thing's like disgusting, then
yeah, people is like a skill that has basically never been played. Like I don't think there was ever any like meta around it, not even close. So
leveling, that's about it, eh? Yeah.
Yeah, leveling, but like not in the end game. Like
No.
Again, like when these core skills are supposed to deliver powerful attacks and be like the core of your build, I feel like it's always just a support skill. And they can rename them.
And I
Just
think
rename them to support skills. It's fine.
Yeah. Yep. Cool. Good point.
Yeah. I think the
There's a lot of cool
like,
stuff coming.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you so much for your time, my friends. It was very nice.
Yeah,
Thanks
thank
for
you,
the
guys.
invite, Anna.
Thank you for
Thank
the
you
invite.
so
yeah.
much
Absolutely.
for
Thank you so
being
much.
here, guys. 2.5 hours. Insanity here.
Just the
Let's
beginning.
Go.
Just
It
the
just
beginning.
flew
Yeah,
by.
So much.
Yeah.
Thank
I'll
you,
catch you
thank
guys
thank
later.
It was
Thank you.
absolutely
Thank
a
you.
blast.